1 or 2 decades, a French team and a Kiwi there, and they absolutely backed in the Kiwi. Yeah, sure, he didn't deliver, but they were prepared to lay it all on the line for him, whereas 20 years ago, they'd be saying, OK, we've got 3 in the break, we're working for the French guy. The sport's evolved so much and so much more professional, I think, in that regard on teams.
And a guy like Jay Vine, who's now one of the best time trialists in the world, one of the best one-week stage races in the world, he got his opportunity through racing indoors on Zwift. This is Juan Pedro Lopez at the front. He came up the classic way, riding club races in Spain through the under-23 categories, and he's been a leader of the Giro d'Italia a few years ago. It was a breakout performance for Juan Pedro Lopez in that Giro d'Italia, and the performance that we're seeing here from Afonso Eulalio, so similar. Same size rider, both struggling the time trial, both very good climbers, and Lopez hasn't gone to that next level. I've got more confidence that Eulalio will, because he's come into the pro peloton less polished. Yeah,
there is just something about him. It feels like he's got some X factor about him, Eulalio, and he's look, both pretty bubbly, happy riders off the bike and even on the bike. They seem pretty relaxed and calm, but Eulalio, I'm not sure if you've seen too many of his interviews, Caleb, but just his mannerism post-stage and the way he's handled himself for a young guy, and you've been there, and I'm sure you think back as a young person when you first were thrust into the limelight, it can be pretty sort of daunting. He just seems like he's taking it in his stride, and I'm just like, you're going to be a star one day. Like, you are a star now, but you're going to do something big.
Yeah, he seems pretty relaxed with his newfound fame, I guess. You know, especially like we said before, he's not a rider that wins really often, and now all of a sudden he's in the spotlight of the whole cycling world, and he's handling it really well.
He's going to be in the spotlight today, wearing the pink jersey on a big mountain stage. His big rival, Jonas Vingegaard, his team, Visma Lease Bike, they've already taken control over the front of the peloton. Of the riders in the breakaway group, according to the race computer of the riders who are out there, Jan Hurt for NSN is the best placed in the general classification. In fact, he's the second best placed from that group, because David De La Cruz is also in the move for Pinarello Q36.5. He's a teammate of the Aussie Chris Harper. He starts the day 16th at 6 minutes and 43 seconds down.
That's a good move. Well done, De La Cruz. He's just slipped in there. That is a really good move by him, himself and Jan Hurt.
There's 3 riders in the breakaway that are less than 10 minutes behind the race lead. David De La Cruz at 6:43, Jan Hurt at 7:53, and Igor Arrieta at 9:14, and he has already won a stage.
And that's the thing, I mean, you can be burning some matches out there, but it's such a big group. If De La Cruz and Hurt can be sort of sitting, following the wheels, they might get caught by Vingegaard by day's end. There's every chance they will, but they might not get caught by everyone. And they might catapult themselves up the rankings a bit if they have a good day.
There's Martin Martelluzzi from the Bardiani team. He was in the break. Unfortunately, he's no longer in the break, and he's not too far away from being caught by the peloton. You've got to take your hat off to Bardiani, the attitude that they bring to this Giro.
Love it. Love it. That's it's a lot harder than what it looks. The way they're jumping up the road every single stage, sharing the workload, some of them more than others. Terozzi, Martelluzzi. It is impressive to be able to do that, and it's hard. It's really hard to make the break of the day. So the fact that they're doing it, just about every day on those opportunist stages is very impressive.
Well, so far out in front with these two, it's only been Jan Christian from UAE who is on the front. Jardy Vanderlee has said, computer says, no, I'm staying here. I'm staying in the slipstream. And even though it is a climb, they're still doing 21 kilometres per hour, so there is some drafting benefit, but there's also a big psychological benefit of being able to follow the pace set by someone.
You get something, don't you? You absolutely. Just being able to follow that wheel, even if it's psychological.
This is Enric Mas at the front. A second place finish a few days ago. That was behind Jonathan Narvaez. So De La Cruz, Hurt and Arrieta. And then Coulset, well, he's at 10.06. So there's quite a few riders within 10 minutes of the pink jersey. But they're not out here for the general classification. They're out here hunting a stage win. The rider from Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe, that's one of the key teammates for Palazzari and Hindley. That's Alexander Blasov, who's been a 5th place finisher in his own right in the Tour de France. He's not in that sort of form here, but he's a handy guy to have up the road for Red Bull. He's
Totally handy, isn't it? I'm thinking more about that, actually. He could well win the stage. He's capable. But, yeah, it's great having a teammate up the road for Jai Hindley.
And the race for the King of the Mountains classification, out in front, we have a lot of points to be won. The top of this climb, it's 40 points for first place. If you go over the top of every climb in first position, it's 157 points. So mathematically, Jan Christian, he could take the lead in the King of the Mountains classification without having scored a point coming into the stage.
Yeah, it's monster days, isn't it? Like this, where those categories can turn on their head. Well, everything can turn on their head. General classification, the white jersey, polka dot, as you just said. What do we make of this, Caleb? Peloton, still a pretty big bunch. Visma, they're happy to let it drift out a bit.
Yeah, I think, you know, they want to obviously use all their riders, so they're going to have a full team over this climb, and then I think they'll really turn it on in the second half of the stage. And obviously, as they go down their pecking order, the riders get stronger, the pace will get faster. So this will be the slowest they will go all stage.
Yeah, right.
That's bad news for everybody else at the back of the peloton.
Yeah, feels pretty good at the moment, they're probably thinking.
This is Gianmarco Garofoli at the front for Soudal Quickstep. They've already won a couple of stages with their sprinter, with Paul Magnier, but they've been very active in the breakaways. They've seen it with Sturven. He was 3rd yesterday. He was 2nd after the crash on the stage into Napoli. It's good that they're sending riders up the road.
They are, yes. Sturven's been the most notable for me over the last 3 days. Really active. His form is good for a big guy on days where we thought he might struggle. He's been there in the hunt.
This is Mark Donovan now coming to the front for Pinarello Q36.5. He was in the break yesterday. Good powers of recovery. 3 riders from Pinarello Q36.5 in this breakaway group. 4 from Movistar, 2 from Jaco Alula. They have Koen Bowman and Chris Juul Jensen.
It was good for Jan Hurt, just back on the 2 riders that are high on the classification, De La Cruz and Hurt. Hurt's on his own. But the fact that there's a bunch of Movistar 36.5 as well, other teams, and I think Movistar, I feel like it's up to them to sort of drive this along here, even though we've got the 2 leaders out in front. That bigger group, Movistar, they've got to go for it. They've got the numbers here. They've got a potential stage winner in Mas and Sundry. So, yeah, they should be setting the tempo.
Meanwhile, back in the peloton, it's looking a lot better for the pink jersey. Afonso Eulalio, he's now got a couple of teammates around him. In particular, he's got Damiano Caruso, Eduardo Zambonini. They're there to support him. Caruso is going to be the most important teammate today for the race leader. Soigné in the right spot at the right time for Jardy van der Leek. Your old teammate, Jamie Drew, has just come through with my favourite stat of the day. Fastest time on Strava this year up King Lake, one of the most well-known climbs in suburban Melbourne. Ridden so many times by Cadel Evans and Sarah Gigante. Fastest time up that climb this year, number 48, Jardy van der Leek.
That's courtesy of Jamie Drew.
Told you, Jamie's
really
delivered.
Well done. Wow. When did he do that?
Well,
December, January.
Well, he must have been in Australia, obviously, for the Tour Down Under and then the Cadel Evans Great Ocean Road Race. Robert Kessing used to base himself in Melbourne near Dis, the old Northcote Velodrome, quite a bit in the summer.
Yeah, and bring his family out and spend plenty of time here, hasn't he, over the years? Yeah. Wow, there you go. Well, that's a quality bike rider then, if he's got the King Lake Strava time.
Guys, considering we've got such a big valley coming up now, should they wait for the group behind? Only 30 seconds behind, 35 seconds behind, a huge group. would you not want to just sit in the bunch a little bit?
Yeah.
Get taken along.
Yeah, it's well, you're the bigger expert than us, Caleb.
Not on a stage like this.
No, I think
I was never in this situation.
neither was I. No, I tend to agree. I think take the points if both of them out in front, Vanderlei and Jan Christen, are going to hunt some King of the Mountains points, then great, take the points. But yeah, and I mean, it's a Category 3, the next climb up, and it does go up in a couple of stairs. But yeah, I tend to agree with you. Go back and it's only 133 kilometres though, but yeah, it's
30 seconds.
Yeah, it's not
two
much.
of them against
A
how
pretty
many
big
guys
group.
are there in the. You know, it's a big group behind as well. So
Yeah, 21 riders.
21 riders. You'd probably. I mean, that just might be my sprinter mind talking.
It's smart. It's smart.
And meanwhile, in the peloton, Visma Lease bike, they're actually riding really conservatively. The rider who's setting the tempo at the front is Timo Kilic. He's recently come across from Alpecin to join that team. And then they've got Tim Rex, who'll be the next one to do it. So for now, at least, I know there's a lot of sprinters being dropped, but that's their flatland specialists. They're the ones who are setting the tempo. They haven't even put their climbers on the front yet. So this minute 38-second advantage that they've got, it's not much at all. And they will need to make the most of the Valley Road and work well together with that group of 21. I like your thinking, Caleb.
Yeah, and like we were saying before, this is the slowest Visma will ride all day, probably by far. I mean, once Jonas gets on the front, it's going to be very quick. So, you know, they will want to conserve as much as possible. There are some really strong riders in this group. So, yeah.
This could be even better for them because the big group is starting to split up. Giulio Ciccone for the lead on Trek team. Movistar is Einar Rubio. And at the back of the group is Jefferson Cepeda.
Yeah, they've got it. That's right. Again, I might sound like a broken record as this stage goes on, or at least this first part. I want to see Movistar forcing the pace here. They've got the numbers. No point getting up the road if you're going to get 1, 2, 3, 4 riders in the move and then sort of, you know, be sort of half-cocked. So I think at least 2 of them have to be surging a bit here, or at least dragging this group along. Even if I know they're giving some riders a bit of a free ride, surely they can save 2 of their men for later.
I just don't think now is the time to go. I think they need to stay together as long as possible, and then in the second half of the stage, if they have the legs to go then.
Yeah.
Because they're going to make up their time now on the descents and in the valleys.
100 metres to the top of the climb, and this is a Category 1 climb. So it's 40 points for the first rider across the top. Jan Christen doesn't have any points yet in the King of the Mountains classification. Jardy Vanderlei started the day on 15. He's taken the points, so obviously he now moves to 55. He did not do a single turn of pace up the climb. Is Jan Christen's nose going to be a long way out of joint or just a little?
We'll see. We'll see. He gave the sort of gesture like sort of a half sorry. I took the points, but he's trying to make amends quickly by just waiting, getting him on the wheel.
Here comes Giulio Ciccone. He leads the peloton across the top. So he's over the top in 3rd position in the race for the all-important King of the Mountains points. 3rd place across the top of that climb will net him 12 points in the King of the Mountains classification. And currently, Ciccone starts the day with 3. But there's still plenty of points available. There's enough points available for a guy like Giulio Ciccone to potentially win the King of the Mountains classification. Here we go, Macca. This is the move by Vanderlei.
Well, very, very easy. Christian, 0 reaction. Put the hand out. But it's business. That's the job. He's been given instructions, no doubt.
Is that the sorry mate equivalent of the ball hitting the top of the net and falling over and you winning the point in tennis?
Yeah, I think it's sorry I was told to do that. But yeah, I mean, that's racing. To be honest, I think Jan Christen's probably more got his mind on the stage than the points, but he didn't even try to challenge that.
No, and he didn't look like he got too angry or frustrated at him either, so he's just carrying on, which is the smart way to be. Don't get waste energy getting frustrated. Just focus on the job at hand.
Still a really big peloton as they're almost at the top of the climb. When they get to the top, it's still another 1.5 to 2 kilometres before the descending really starts.
Yeah, it does. It's one of those frustrating climbs, probably as a non-climber. You get to the top, you think beauty, down we go, but little plateau across the top. Then the big descent will start, about 15 odd kilometres in length. So, and then a little bit of valley floor before the road starts to kick up again.
Horrible road condition. And now it's perfect. Gone from potholes, gravel to billiard table.
It's very, very Italian, those kinds of roads.
Yeah. And here you go, a bit more here. So there's a little bit of patchwork.
I can only imagine how bad the section was that has been freshly resurfaced.
Yeah, well, there's still a couple of sections here are pretty rough as well. So probably the organisers, as I think we were talking last week, you know, certainly in the Giro, not uncommon, a week before some road surfacing is done, and through this section here, it's not a dangerous section, it's not fast, so they've probably decided not to focus on the parts, the descent, etc. If they need resurfacing, they've done that.
This is at the back of the chase group. This is the former Canadian national champion, Nicholas Zulkowski. He's in here with a couple of teammates, including David De La Cruz, who's the best placed overall from this breakaway group. De La Cruz is just outside the top 10. He's in 16th. He's at 6 minutes and 43 seconds down. He's 2.5 minutes behind his teammate in 10th, Chris Harper. Last time this climb was used in the Giro d'Italia, it was in 2015. The first across the top of the climb was Giovanni Visconti, but the winner of the stage that day was Fabio Aru. So a good day for the Italians. The leader of the general classification at the end of that stage was Alberto Contador. And Contador went on to win the race overall with Fabio Aru in second position and Mikel Landa in third. There'd be some incredible views from up here, particularly on a clear winter's night.
Yeah, there, well, some good views of Mont Blanc, Europe's highest mountain. And of course, I mentioned earlier the tunnel. It's only about 40 kilometres from the start. Well, from the stage, really, because the stage all stays in the one area today from Aosta. It's an 11-kilometre tunnel that goes through to France, obviously, and Chamonix. You can catch the cable car from Chamonix up to Mont Blanc for over 4,000 metres. You get up there in about 15 minutes, by the way. I've done it. It is incredible.
The view was worth it, no doubt.
Oh, it is. Yeah, it's an amazing area, this whole area. I mean, we've been lucky, Matt. We spent a few nights in Chamonix a few years ago on the tour, which I think included a rest day. Yeah, it's a good part of the world and well serviced by transport, public transport, trains. There's a cable car, incidentally, from Aosta, where the race started today, directly to the finish mountain, Pilla. So I imagine probably a lot of the fans and certainly the TV crews, journalists, they'll be catching the cable car up to the finish.
Third last position in the group, that's Jan Hurt. He's from NSN. He is the second best placed rider in this group. He's at 7 minutes and 53 seconds down. He said that his dream as a young cyclist was to win a stage at the Giro d'Italia, and if he won a stage, he would retire. Well, he won a stage, and he said, no, I'm not retiring. This is too good. I want to win another one.
That's what happens. You get the bug. Absolutely. He did that back in 2022. He won Tour of Oman that same year as well. Had a good career.
Finished top 10 in the overall classification that year in the Giro d'Italia as well. He's finished top 10 here a couple of times. In fact, in 22, that was his best result in 6th. And 2 years later, he finished in 8th position overall.
And that was, of course, Jai Hindley that won that year, that edition. Chip Carapaz and Mikel Landa again. You mentioned him before, Matt, on the podium here.
Back to the battle for the King of the Mountains classification. Jonas Vingegaard, he has 111 points. Second place is Diego Sevilla from Polte Visit Malta on 60. Jardy Vanderlee from EF Education Easy Post has moved up 10 spots on the back of winning that climb. He's now gone to 55 points. The next climb they have is a Category 3 climb. It's only 9 points for the win there. But if he collects maximum points, then he will move up into second position. The following climb is another Cat 1 climb worth 40 points. So he can move into the lead of that classification today. However, when you get to the finish line, There are big points on offer because it is a mountaintop finish. It's 50 for the win. And Visma Lease Bike are riding like a team who want to win the stage and take the pink jersey.
And look at that gap. They're keeping them in check, aren't they? It looked like it was going to blow out a bit more, but it's actually come down somewhat now.
And this is their big guys on the front. So if they're keeping it a minute 20 with their big guys, then
yeah, that's a bit scary, isn't it?
there's not much hope for the breakaway.
Yeah.
Stage 14, a long time ago, Macca, back in 1994. That was when Marco Pantani really burst onto the scene. We speak of him as a climber, but the spectacular descending, he was renowned for hanging off the back of the saddle. The opposite to the forward super tuck of Mohoric, he was putting his chest on the saddle and his backside hanging over the rear wheel.
He was, wasn't he? Yeah, that'd be outlawed, no doubt. In this modern era, he was one of the greats, and we lost him too soon, far too soon, Marco Pantani. I always think, every now and then, and during the Giro, I think, wouldn't it be great if he was here now and we'd be celebrating him at the race? And it was a tragedy, really. And passing away, he was one of the greats of world cycling.
Oh, Christian Scaroni, we were talking about him yesterday, thinking maybe he was laying down, losing time to get into the breakaway. Then we saw him struggling early, and clearly illness has gotten the better of him. Plus, he did have a crash a couple of days ago. That may well have caught up with him, a combination of both. So unfortunate, because he's been riding incredibly well.
He has, and you picked it yesterday, Matt, we didn't know, obviously, but you picked him not having crossed the line, so we sort of watched that space, and then he did come across, and we were still second-guessing, weren't we? But no, that's a shame. But again, this is what the Giro does. It's a war of attrition. It's a race of attrition. And part of the battle, Caleb, is staying healthy, isn't it? You can have good legs, but if you're not healthy, you get sick. It can be demoralising.
Yeah, for sure. You know, it's not always the strongest man that wins. It's the one that stays healthy, and you know, trying to stay healthy, trying not to crash. I mean, two big things that can obviously affect your form.
Pretty hard as a sprinter, trying not to crash, isn't it? I mean, you had a I hate to remind you, but it was a Giro, wasn't it? Opening first couple of stages, or
yeah, it was the first stage, uphill, yes. 5K uphill to the finish.
Hungary,
yeah. It was
Van der
Poel and Vinny.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, you'd almost argue less dangerous than your traditional false pan flat sprint finishes too.
Yeah, it was. Well, actually, what happened that day was I was in prime position. I actually thought in my head, like, oh, I'm going to take this pretty easy. And then I got a bump from the side, and it knocked me into a big gear. So when I went to start my sprint, I was way over geared. And I don't know what, I think I started coming around, but I was way too close to the wheel, clipped the wheel. My fault. And then just crashed myself.
Yeah, well, we were devastated.
Yeah, I was pretty sad as well. I was picturing myself in the pink jersey, and then next minute I was on the ground. So anyway, that's cycling.
It's brutal, isn't it?
The
sport. One minute you're tasting glory, and the next your race is over. And we've seen this here with some riders that have had success, and then suddenly bang, they're out of the race.
From a potential pink jersey to a blue robe in hospital.
The annoying thing for me that year was I really trained for that stage, because it was 5K up to the finish, so like a little hilltop finish. And obviously, as a sprinter, it was always going to be quite hard for me to get to the top there, but I changed my training quite a lot to be able to get to that finish. And then when you train like that, you do lose some of your sprints, so I feel like it affected a lot of the proper finishes afterwards. So I went all in on that one chance to try to take the pink jersey, crashed, and then kind of ruined my chance for all the sprints afterwards.
Well, as we're watching the second group on the road, making their way down the descent, it's a long journey downhill and then into the Valley Road. A sprinter to talk about is Jonathan Milan. He's been climbing quite well. He looks like he's lost a little bit of his top end in this year's Giro.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to be on his normal form. And I mean, that can be a lot of things. You know, as a sprinter, trying to get your form right with being able to get through a Grand Tour but keeping your speed is always a real hard balance. So if you sometimes think, if I just climb a bit better, I'll get to more finishes and technically I should win more, then you kind of get you kind of maybe go too much into the climbing, and then when you go too hard into the climbing, you obviously lose your sprint, but then you're not really better on the climbs, but then you've lost your sprint as well, so you're kind of in this awkward position where you're not as fast as you used to be, but you're also not really climbing to more finishes than you were before.
Is that I mean, I know it's hard to sum this up in a few sentences, but give us the key elements, like when you're saying, okay, I'm going absolute purist, so I'm just going to rely on the fact that I'll make it up the climbs, but I'm going absolute purist. What's the difference between, you know, when you go, okay, I've got to improve my climbing a bit, you're literally training more in the mountains, or are you doing, you know, just loads of short sprint efforts, gym work, or what is it?
Yeah, if you want to climb better, you just pretty much do altitude camps.
Lose a bit of weight?
Yeah, I think you'll naturally lose a bit of weight because you're climbing more, you're probably doing an altitude camp. Just for example, the last Giro that I did, I was doing altitude and I really wanted to get through as easy as possible because I always struggled to get through a Grand Tour. There was always multiple stages where the team would have to come back and get me and help me through. Otherwise, I wouldn't make time cuts. So going to my last Giro that I did, I was like, you know what, it was with Jayco, so they had, you know, a few different options for riders to go for the win. So I was like, all right, I'm not going to have the whole team to help me, so I'm going to have to rely on myself to get through it. So I did a lot more altitude training, and I got through the Giro the easiest I've ever gotten through a Grand Tour. But I couldn't sprint. Right. I was so far off where I needed to be sprinting that it was like, all right, I got through the Giro really well, but then I couldn't do what I was paid to do.
Yeah.
So,
right.
And then on the flip side, let's go back to 2019 Tour de France, probably my most successful Grand Tour ever. There was probably 5 or 6 days where if my team didn't come back to get me, I would have been out of the race. So I really, really struggled through, but I was at my fastest. So when it came to a sprint, I was able to win.
What did you win? 3?
3 stages.
3 stages that year, yeah.
Including Paris.
Including Paris.
And all in the second half almost, wasn't it?
I think I was 6 or 7 times on the podium, including those.
Wow.
So compared to the last Euro that I did, I don't think I made it on the podium at all. But got through really easily. So
it's fascinating, isn't it? What's fascinating about that is how you said the team came back 5 or 6 times, which is not, that's part of their job as well. But 5 or 6 times you could have been eliminated from the race. It's a fine line.
So 101 kilometres to go. The breakaway now out to an advantage of 1 minute and 37 seconds. They continue the long descent. Then it's off into the Valley Road before the rest of the climbing. There are not many flat stretches of road throughout today's stage. They are 30 kilometres away before the next climb gets underway.
John Safran.
Do you watch porn?
Do I watch porn?
Is testing the limits of what Australians can say.
Don't act stupid.
And do.
I don't think you'll get away with that one.
Shut your big fat mouth, John Safran. Tomorrow 7:30 on SBS and on demand.
Si tu veux faire tomber Carlotti, il va falloir que tu joues le jeu. On aborde ça comme une enquête alors que c'est une guerre.
Ils veulent jouer. On va jouer.
The Corsican Line. Stream free on SBS on demand.
Your target is in a camp near the Turkish border.
It's my job to get her to tell me what she knows.
The gripping spy drama. The Veil. Stream free on SBS on demand.
You found it then?
Of course I did. Good boy.
Terry's a Sparky, a bloke with a van. Saving for a home is his master plan. But when he flicks on the news, his charge levels drop. He just needs a way
to get on top.
Great Southern Bank helps Terry's business grow and has clever ways to make his deposit glow. With savings and business, Great Southern Bank lent a hand. Happily clever after, like Tez always planned.
At Australian Ethical,
we've been investing ethically for nearly 40 years. We work to grow your retirement savings and don't sacrifice integrity for performance. So you can feel confident your money's invested to build the future you want for yourself, your family, and our world. Because when your super prospers, we all thrive.
George changed the way motion pictures were made with Star Wars.
Nobody knew what we were doing.
When I read the script, I actually threw it into the corner.
Well, you can always make Darth Vader and Luke stronger.
Icons Unearthed. Star Wars. Stream now on SBS On Demand.
Why? I know we have a book.
Find great deals on models like the Tucson Hybrid, i30 Sedan Hybrid, and Kona Electric at participating dealers. Hyundai Prius. Great deals without the gimmicks.
Ron, book the Skyrider.
This work can be too much for people.
This is what we're here for.
I know what we're here for.
The Americans. Stream now on SBS On Demand.
For the last 4 years, I've been a prisoner of this hotel.
This hotel is a dangerous place, especially for you.
You must never leave.
A Gentleman in Moscow. Stream now on SBS On Demand.
Stage 14 of the Giro d'Italia, and it is a big day in the mountains. They're in the north of the country. They're up near the border. They can see France across the other side, and Mont Blanc is providing the shadow on a big day of climbing. Jardy van der Lee has gone across the top of the first climb in first position. That has now moved him up into third place in the race for the blue jersey of the King of the Mountains classification, and that is being worn, at the moment at least, by Jonas Vingegaard. Polti visit Malta, trying to get across to the leader. This is Alessandro Tonelli. A long valley road, David McKenzie, before they hit the next climb. But the toughest part of the day is still a fair way off.
Yeah, it's all throughout the day, isn't it? Obviously, fresher legs up the first climb for the whole peloton. The non-climbers, they find their rhythm, find their group, and then try and survive the day. But this is the part, I think, probably most likely where this breakaway can try and make big inroads. So try and get the maximum gap that they're going to get all day. So for the next, say, 20-odd, 30-odd kilometres, maybe touch more, this is where they can try and develop a lead that will give them a winning advantage.
But here is one of their challenges, the hot conditions, and now we've seen Andreas Lichtenstein, who's had 2 second-place finishes in this year's race. He's dependent on Shimano neutral service to be able to collect water bottles because the gap's not big enough to let his team come across, and he's also got a teammate out here with him, Johannes Kulset, who is the protected rider of those two because Kulset's been climbing better than Lichtenstein.
Yeah, and look, multiple riders now, so the Shimano neutral spares are going to run out of bottles soon. They'd have a lot there. They'd be prepared for this. But look, the gap's big enough as in to let cars through. The problem is very hard for the cars to get through. And riders are getting, a little bit frustrated because they're getting antsy because they want liquids now, don't they, Caleb? You know what it's like on these hot days. When you start to run out, when you want it, you want it immediately.
Yeah, for sure. It's a day like today where you really don't want to be underfueled. So they will really want their team cars to come across pretty quickly. But you could see at the top of that climb, it was really like one lane wide. So for the cars to get around the bunch, especially ahead on the descent, it's going to be pretty hard.
Gun Bauman out there for Jaco Alula. This is Igor Adieta. An amazing stage victory. Here is a bike change back in the peloton. This is big Filippo Ganna.
Looks like he's having a laugh.
He was so heavily marked yesterday. Every time he moved, there was 3 or 4 guys on his wheel. If he scratched his nose, others did the same.
Yeah, he was just, it was doomed, wasn't it, for him? Everyone knew he was up for the stage, and in his mind he was going to be doing the Alberto Bettiol performance, but just wasn't meant to be.
Have you rated Net Company Ineos's Giro so far?
I think they're, you know, obviously early on they probably lost, well, they obviously lost more time than they would have hoped, and I think they would have hoped for a bit more from Egan, but at the moment they're sitting pretty good. You know, obviously the TTs that they've done amazing to be able to gain that much time for Tyrone Arensman. So, you know, he's sitting really well at the moment, a really good position. I would have liked to have seen Egan go for maybe a long range today. You know, he's 5 minutes behind. He's probably far enough off that they're not keeping too close of an eye on him. So I thought he would have been one to maybe go for a long range, but there's still plenty of time in the stage to do it.
And a few stages still to come for Egan Bernal. But perhaps I'd like the idea of Bernal going into the breakaway. It'd be one of the feel-good stories, wouldn't it? He's one of the lovable champions of the sport. But perhaps, Caleb, you've been in the team previously. It was the last team that you rode with. The priority has been maybe, OK, Egan, we know you want to go for the stage victory, but you can really help us with Tyrone Arensman to get a spot on the podium.
Yeah, their mindset will always be on the GC, especially now they're, you know, sitting third overall, so they've got a great chance on the podium. I don't know if they truly believe that they can beat Jonas, but you know how quickly things can happen in the race. One crash, and you know, all of a sudden he's in the contention, in the hot seat to win the Giro. So anything can happen like that. So they'll be thinking, let's say, long term, and they'll be thinking for the podium in Rome.
And that's what they've been historically. They've won the Tour de France with 4 different riders. They've won the Volta, they've won the Giro. They're trying to get back into that conversation as Grand Tour winners. The leading group, they've all come back together again. So the 2 riders that we saw off the front, Jardy Vanderlee and Jan Christian, they've taken your advice, Caleb. They're back with the big group.
Yeah, you know, we can see now how fast this valley is, and this is really where they need to kind of really work well together, try to get that big gap, because Visma's only going to use 1 or 2 guys now in this valley. If all these guys chop off, they can really, you know, put maybe another minute into the bunch before the next climb.
This is Garofoli at the back in the white colours. David De La Cruz is the man just in front of him in the navy blue colours from Pinarello Q36.5. He is the best placed in the general classification. This is Crescioli from Poltivisit Malta. And this is a team, a rare professional team, that wants to see guys leave the squad and go to a bigger team. It's part of what they pride themselves on.
Yeah, look, the sport needs these smaller budgeted teams. They can be a good stepping stone for riders that, you know, don't have that incredible ability just to step straight up into a bigger World Tour team, but can handle the peloton. They are good stepping stones for some riders, and you do see riders, you know, a few riders that come from these smaller teams that end up having incredible careers and getting huge success.
So 2 riders out in the group for Jaco Alula. Koen Bouwman, who 4 years ago won 2 stages in the King of the Mountains classification. Chris Juul Jensen is also in the breakaway with them. First stage victory for Poland by Piasecki back in 1986.
Yeah.
In the time trial.
Yes, he also, George Piasecki, he also won the prologue in the Tour, I think. Oh, he was very close. He might have led, actually. 87 or 89. He was a very good time trialist.
Some fantastic riders from Poland and brilliant time trialists. This is Emmanuel Gabriel from Eritrea. Is he loaded up or what? He's done everything as the domestique in this race. The days in the mountains and for the sprinters, he's their guy.
He's quality, isn't he? He's one of those riders, we've already said it, but I think it'd be a feel-good story to get a stage win in the Grand Tour. They deserve it, those sort of riders, especially, as you say, Matt, really versatile.
How hard is it for Jonathan Milan, Caleb, as the opportunities for the sprinters? There's only 2 genuine sprint stages to come, and every Grand Tour that he's ridden so far, he's won the points classification. Hasn't had a stage win here yet.
Yeah, and obviously coming into the Giro, home race for him, huge favourite. You know, he's had a lot of success in the Grand Tours the last few years, so it'll be really frustrating for him. And, you know, he would have liked to have had already 1 stage. Just, you know, if you get 1 early, at least whatever happens for the rest of the race, you go home with 1. But when you're chasing that 1 stage, every stage, it kind of like compounds over time. More pressure, more pressure, more pressure. And yeah, it becomes quite difficult.
What about the contrast for the rider from UAE, the national champion of Ecuador? He's hiding down the back here, Jonathan Narvaez, number 195. Have either of you seen him at the front yet?
No. It's incredible, isn't it? 3-stage wins. He's just, well, there's that element too when you've had the success he's had. He's so chilled.
He doesn't need to do anything.
He doesn't need to do anything, does he? And they can't really force him to. He's like, well, I'm good. I've got a couple of teammates here.
Yeah.
I don't need to work. It's a good position to be in.
He's got his stage wins. Yeah. No one else here has stage wins, so he'll say, it's up to you guys. If you want one, then go for it.
Good luck.
Well, Enric Mas, he'd certainly love revenge. On a day like today, he's in this group, second to Narvaez a few days ago.
The blue jersey of Jonas Vingegaard. He's gone back for a nature break by the looks of it. That's Bart Lemon, who is leading him back up towards the front. That's a warm day, 28 degrees in the mountains.
It's, yeah, they feel warmer too, I think, in the mountains, especially when you're going up. We talked about it. You feel like, well, there's less oxygen. You feel like you're getting less in your lungs. Your throat's dry. You're sort of gasping for it. So they will be feeling it.
Oh, the blue colours of Picnic Post-Anal. This is Chris Hamilton. He made the right move. He just didn't have the legs to finish it off.
Yeah. Went early, went in the first attack. I thought, here we go. This is good.
It's a team we've spoken about a lot, and their lack of points that they've been able to collect so far this season. Out of the Brunswick Cycling Club, Mick has sent through some support for Pat Eddy, who was previously with that team. So far this year, Picnic Post-Anal, they've got a total of 1,043 points for the UCI rankings. Pat Eddy, who didn't get a new contract with the team, has had a couple of wins so far over in Europe, and he's collected 275 points on his own.
Yeah, you can't hide, can you? You can't hide. All the information is out there. That's a nice little update. And yeah, Pat Eddy, how hard is it, or will it be for him, Caleb, to get back into the World Tour? Can he get back there with the couple of wins he's had?
Yeah, he can definitely get back there for sure. It's obviously it's never a good look when you leave the World Tour, because obviously the team that you're with, if they don't want to renew you, it kind of tarnishes you a little bit. But you know, for him to come back and do what he's done, you know, it's been a great turnaround, and he does have the chance to do it.
Does it have to be the World Tour? How about a team like Unibet Rose Rockets?
Yeah, it doesn't have to be the World Tour. You know, with so many good Pro Conti teams now as well, so it doesn't have to be the World Tour. There's still a lot of Pro Conti teams that do all these big races.
And is that now a good manager for Pat, that potentially is talking to these potentially smaller teams like Rose Rockets, just, you know, hustling?
Yeah, I think early on when he had really hot form at the start of the season, he should have been really forcing it then.
Yeah.
You don't want to wait till, you know, your form maybe cools off a little bit or you become a little bit more irrelevant. Yeah, he was obviously very relevant at the start of the year. Hopefully his manager did some good work, and you know, maybe he's already signed to a team. Hopefully for him, you know, I think if he keeps riding the way he has, he deserves to be obviously at least in a Pro Conti team. So it'll be great to see him back there, and it'll be a good story.
He's definitely World Tour level. Movistar, they've got 4 riders in the breakaway. This is Juan Pedro Lopez at the front right now. A moment ago, we saw Lorenzo Malesi. He was doing a big turn of pace. But their 2 best climbers, number 88, Einar Rubio, number 81, Enric Mas. What do you want to see them doing or not doing at this point?
Yeah, of course I want to see Movistar forcing the pace. I think if they can afford to sit back, Rubio and Mas, at the moment, not do too much, use their other 2 men to sort of rally this group and get them working. But they're all wise to it. The other teams and riders in this breakaway, they know Movistar have got the numbers, and they're probably going to be aware they want a couple to sit back. So you've just got to try and play the niceties with your breakaway companions and say, come on, we've all got something to gain here. If we can get this advantage out to 3-4 minutes, we can have a shot then at the win, and may the best man get the win, but until we all work together, it can be a lost cause.
This is appreciation from Eulalio for the man who was nearest the pitcher. He was just pointing to him, giving the thumbs up, because Damiano Caruso, 38 years of age, in his last season in the pro peloton, he wants to ride the Tour de France as well. He will thrive in this position supporting somebody else, because that is what Caruso has done his whole career.
Yeah, it's full circle, isn't it? And he had his opportunity. He's had a couple of opportunities throughout his career to really go for it, and one was in the Giro. He won that brilliant summit finish stage, and it was his career best form. But you're right, Matt, this is what he built his career around.
The captain puts a smile on the face of the man in pink, Afonso Eulalio. Simon Gerrans was teammates with Damiano Caruso heading into the Tour de France when they were part of BMC along with Richie Porte. They went for a training camp together. Simon said it was the worst thing he ever did was try and go training with Damiano Caruso before the Tour de France. It was almost harder than racing.
Well, yeah, guys like that, they'd be pretty, they'd be hard trainers, I'd imagine.
7th blue jersey for the King of the Mountains classification for Jonas Vingegaard. One Australian has won this classification in the Giro d'Italia, and that was in 2010, and that was Matt Lloyd. Also on a stage that year, Matt Lloyd was riding for the Lotto team.
How much of an advantage do you think the breakaway needs today to succeed?
Before they hit the base of the last climb?
Yeah.
4 minutes.
Yeah.
I was going to say the same. 4 minutes.
Yeah. To pluck a number out, that's the magic number, isn't it?
To hold him off, 4 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's looking a lot better than he was a couple of days ago. He didn't look great in the time trial. He has said that, well, his sports director said that he has been battling a small illness. Lots of riders have been saying that. Red Bull have said it with Jai Hindley and Giulio Padazzari. But he looks a lot more comfortable today. 5 kilometres to the intermediate sprint. That's rude, Caleb, putting the intermediate sprint there.
The Giro love to do that. Put an intermediate sprint on top of a little hill.
So from this group, I wonder whether we're going to see any action to pick up some of the points within that battle for the Ciclamino jersey. Often we see the smaller teams, the wildcard teams in the breakaway, they go and try and pick up those points. This is Giulio Ciccone now going through to the front for the Lido Trek team.
How many points are on offer for this?
For the intermediate sprint, not many, only 12.
Okay.
It's only the top 5 who get points.
Jonathan Narvaez.
I wonder if Jonathan Narvaez will go for it.
He should go for it.
He's just hovering closer to the front then
because
too.
If it's 12 points, he would take the lead.
He'll take the jersey.
And he was in the breakaway a few days ago. He's been in the breakaway a lot, and it was coming to an intermediate sprint. Simon Gerrans and I were debating, does he go for these here? Because if he wins the stage, he's a real chance for the points classification. He decided not to. He didn't want to interrupt the rhythm of the group that he was in. But now he's starting to get a smell of Ciclamino jersey in his nostrils.
Yeah. And he is now moving towards the front of the bunch. He's been sitting, of this group, he's been sitting down the back most of the day. So he's up there now. I'd say he's going to be going for these.
Definitely.
Yeah, and realistically, who's going to challenge him?
Who can challenge him?
That's right. Who can and who's got the motivation or the objective to? They're not too many, if any.
A beautiful town to visit, a difficult town to ride through, particularly for the sprinters. 83.5 kilometres to go. The breakaway, they are continuing to extend their lead. It's now out to 2:37.
Soccer is the universal language of the whole world.
You know the biggest problem? The American sports fan could care less about it.
The sport is too foreign. You know, it's for sissies, it's for commies.
The fastest way to win over an American sports fan is to show that you could actually compete with the rest of the world.
You have to have a professional league to be successful as a footballing nation.
Soccer's American Dream. Monday 9:20 on SBS Viceland and on demand.
Crisp.
Light.
And refreshed.
Oh! Yeah, can't wait for my surprise. Arms out and close my eyes. So exciting, so refreshing. Brace myself.
What?
Be refreshed. Refreshment activated.
They call this the lucky country.
Red 55.
But there's a funny thing about luck. There's only so much of it to go round.
That's a cow.
See while you're having a ripper.
Both of them.
Someone else is having a shocker.
Spewing.
Yeah, you never know which end of the stick you're gonna get when the lucky country isn't so lucky.
Lucky you're with Amy.
چقدر من اشتباهی چیزی شده سوء تفاهم.
I think you need to view this as an abduction.
Prisoner 951. Stream free on SBS On Demand.
George changed the way motion pictures were made with Star Wars.
Nobody knew what we were doing.
When I read the script, I actually threw it into the corner.
Well, you can always make Darth Vader Luke's father.
Icons Unearthed. Star Wars. Stream now on SBS On Demand.
Fresh broccolini. Starting a business comes with what ifs. Like what if I open a barber but people stop cutting their hair? So set your business up right with ANZ and wonder what's the best that could happen.
Fantastic Furniture's red hot deals. Save 50% on the Devon sofa, save $400. Or the Kalara Queen bed frame, save $430. More red hot deals in store and online at Fantastic Furniture.
Do you think we went too far trying to compete with Hyundai's Prius?
I can't believe it's back.
They have deals on now, before EFS.
The Tucson hybrids from only $44,990 drive away. And all we have are below.
Find great deals on models like the Tucson Hybrid, i30 Sedan Hybrid, and Kona Electric at participating dealers. Hyundai Prius. Great deals without the gimmicks.
Ron, book the Skyrider.
Go, I'm ready.
This Reconciliation Week, celebrate the films of Warwick Thornton, one of Australia's most acclaimed voices.
We're looking for connection.
Bold, poetic and deeply moving, his work brings First Nation stories to life in a way that's utterly unforgettable. Focus on Warwick Thornton starts with We Don't Need a Map, Monday 7:30 on SBS World Movies and On Demand.
Into the Valley Road and the big breakaway group, they have got themselves organised. 23 riders out in front with an advantage now of 2 minutes and 41 seconds. Andreas Lichtenson, the Norwegian national champion, has had 2 second-place finishes this year. Had a second-place finish a few years ago. He has said that he's riding well, he likes the result, but he'd swap all those seconds for one victory.
Yeah, he certainly would. It's pretty obvious, isn't it? A win is, you're remembered forever, but Milesi there, just interesting. It was almost like a quasi-attack. Wanted to try and sneak off the front. I don't know, I'm going to be critical of Movistar. You're just going to have to put up with me, guys, because I feel like if you're going to do an attack, do a proper attack. Otherwise, if you're doing that, get that group on your wheel. The goal is to keep the group rolling along.
And there's no point in them attacking at this point. They want to drag Rubio and Muss further up the road. They want to create as much of an advantage as possible. This is Igor Arrieta now at the front. What a stage win it was for him. He crashed, took a wrong turn, almost crashed again, chased down Eulalio and caught him with 100 metres to go.
I forgot about the wrong turn. Straight through the tape, straight through the ribbon. That was, yeah, that is one of the craziest finales of a stage I think I've seen for a long time.
This is Precioli at the back for Polte Visit Malta. To their credit, this team, sure, they haven't won a stage this year, and they haven't really looked like winning a stage, but they've been in all the major breakaways, and they've been great animators of the race.
Good for the sponsors. Yep, plenty of airtime. Your win is better, absolutely, but they've given plenty of airtime to their sponsors. They'd be pretty happy.
Yeah, likewise, Unibet Rose Rockets, number 207, Walt Pools, their only climber in the team. And today, the first really big day in the mountains, and Wout gets in with a chance for the win from the break.
They've done well, the break on that descent and through this valley road here, because they've got the gap now up. So they've picked up, what, about another minute or so. That really was their objective, I think. Or if I was a director of one of the riders in this team that could potentially win the stage, that's what I would have hoped for. So this is good, and now they've got to keep this pace going.
How do you like Narvaez? Caleb sitting in third position.
Yeah, I think he's going to go for that sprint. Well, I hope he does anyway. It'll make it quite interesting for the points jersey.
Well, look, we'll put him in the lead by 1 point. Then tomorrow it is a pure sprint stage, and it is a stage where you win, you get 50 points. So the points classification does favour the sprinters because it's 50 points to win the sprint stages. The mountain stages or the medium mountain stages, 25 points to win. But 12 points here, and Narvaez is currently 11 points behind the lead of Paul Magnier. It's Alexander Vlasov for Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe. Very helpful for Jai Hindley to have a teammate in this break.
Yeah, that's a smart move, and the right rider as well in Vlasov. So someone who's got climbing capabilities.
Do you think that's a tactical move because Jai will maybe try to come across, or do you think he's just going for a stage victory?
I think it's both. I think they've said get up the road. If the opportunity arises and the stage wins on the line, fantastic. But if we need you, and Jai and Palazzati need you, and we need you to pull back, we can pull that trigger.
Yeah, I think they're playing both cards at this point. Arietta still sets the tempo. De La Cruz is the rider in second spot. It's then Jonathan Narvaez. This is Garofoli for the Soudal Quick-Step team.
So they did have a rider. I forgot. Garofoli is there. So he'll try and challenge Narvaez, not for himself, but of course for his teammate, Paul Magnier.
It's the defensive role that Garofoli is playing. He's trying to box Narvaez in. He's holding him there. He's got him on the hip. Narvaez is too clever to get boxed in. He'll be able to push his way out surely. He slips up the inside, and he's got his teammate at the front. He needs to make the call for Arietta, which he does. Good effort by Garofoli to try and challenge Jonathan Narvaez, but Narvaez is rapid. The first of the stages that he won was from a bunch group sprint of 40 riders. Garofoli is giving it all that he's got. Narvaez has been caught by surprise. That does not happen often. He's had to back out and take over. Narvaez, as expected, gets the job done, take 12 points. He is now the leader of the points classification.
Yeah, job well done. Did it with ease, didn't he? Garofoli obviously not at that standard for a sprint at least. And Narvaez just no problems whatsoever.
Yeah, that was a... He was sleeping a little bit there. I think he's lucky he was a lot quicker because he could have easily stuffed that one up. But yeah, he got that quite comfortably. And I wonder if he went in the breakaway today with that in mind, that he could potentially get the lead of the sprint jersey, or is it just by chance he was in there and they said, hang on a second, you're only 11 points off, there's 12 points up for grabs.
You're right though, he took it a little bit lightly, and you're right, if Garofoli was a bit faster, a bit stronger, that could have been the point where he didn't get the sprint.
You've got to give him some props though, Garofoli, for trying to challenge Narvaez.
Absolutely, yeah. He'll have a chuckle. They both will probably later on. He knows the deal. Narvaez, it's just business. There's no animosity. Thank you very much, though.
Back to your comment before, Caleb, about the role of Narvaez in this breakaway. UAE won another stage victory. They've got Jan Christian, they've got Igor Arietta out here as well. Yeah, he wants the 12 points, but they're chasing a bigger prize. They're chasing the stage.
Yeah, for sure. You know, now that they're not really on GC, their priority is to try to win as many stages as possible, and they're doing a good job so far.
And now Visma Lisa Bike, they've had to manage their resources. So they've got their two flatland specialists who have been on the front so far throughout the stage, which has allowed that leading group to extend their advantage now to almost 3 minutes.
Well, that's it. It's the magic number. We're in furious agreement. 4 minutes, we think they need, and that's at the base of the final climb. So they're a long way from there yet, but the clock is heading in the right direction. So if they can capitalise on it here, and I think, as I said before, it's these, for me, it's the next 20 to 30 odd kilometres, which includes the Category 3, leading them into a Category 1 then. That's going to be tough for them to take any more time there, and that's where, as you have pointed out, Caleb, Visma will just get quicker and quicker as the day goes, because their climbers then will start to come to the front and take over from their flatland specialists. So this is the period right now where they can still make some gains.
Confirmation of the results through the sprint. Narvaez, Garofoli, Arrieta, Donovan, De La Cruz. Caleb, are you expecting Visma Lease to still try and manage with these two riders at the front, Timo Kilic and Tim Rex, until they get over this next climb and to the base of the Category 1 climb?
I think they will try to get over with these guys, just because the most important thing for them will be not to be outnumbered. They want to keep as many riders as long as possible. They probably aren't even thinking about the stage. They're thinking about, obviously, the GC. They just need to keep as many riders as possible. They just don't want to be outnumbered to a point where, you know, Vingegaard's left isolated on his own too early.
Yeah, I think you just hit it on the head. Of course, the perfect scenario is Vingegaard takes the stage and the jersey. But don't get too greedy. Let's focus on the bigger prize, which is the Maglia d'Osa, and you have numbers with him right up until that sort of final point.
And look at where Jonathan Narvaez is now. He's popped the hand up. He said, I'm going back to get a water bottle. And he's going to sit at the back for as long as he can get away with it. There was a stage a few days ago, Caleb, where he was in the breakaway, and we keep getting the data coming through from Vallon, and it's intriguing to see who's producing how much power. And Narvaez was in the breakaway and producing less power than everybody else without upsetting anybody. And he now leads the race for the Chiclamina jersey by 1 point ahead of Paul Magnier.
Yeah, he's tactically a really, really good rider, and you know, he'll know for him to potentially win this stage, and that's what he'll be going for, obviously, to maybe give himself the chance to win. He needs to take it as easy as possible until the very last climb, so he'll just sit on the back. He's won his stages. He'll say to the rest of the guys, if you want to win, go for it. I'm going to sit here and do my thing. And yeah, he knows that he needs to get to that last climb with fresh legs, because there's a lot of strong guys behind that will be coming as well.
This is Zukowski at the front, the former Canadian national champion. He's one of 3 riders from Pinarello, Q36.5. The other 2, Mark Donovan, who we saw in the break yesterday, and David De La Cruz, who's in 16th spot overall. Donovan's done well to back it up, Macca, after yesterday's performance.
Yeah, any rider that's, you know, on opportunistic days, that's able to go 2 days in a row in the breakaway, you've got good legs. You've got good legs, one, you've got good motivation, because you've got to be alert at the start and be willing to hurt your body, go into the red zone, go deep in order to make that breakaway. So I couldn't agree more, Matt. Donovan's is putting up a good performance.
And Lichtman's he's in his 3rd major breakaway of this year's race. Visma Lease in control of the peloton as they hit the base of the 2nd of the climbs on this stage. And this is the easiest one. And I use the word easy really loosely, because they're all hard. This one's maybe just less hard than the other 4. Not a particularly big peloton. Good luck to the Gruppetto getting through today. This is Johan Price Peterson. He won the Under-23 individual time trial world title a few years ago, and Luke Plapp was in 2nd spot. The wait for the mountains is over. It is time to climb. Hello and welcome to stage 14 for everybody in WA joining us for what is a day of decision in the general classification and in the race for the WA Cup, where it is Ben O'Connor ahead of Jai Hindley and then Michael Storer. We've got another Aussie inside the top 10. In 10th position is Chris Harper from South Australia. The race leader is Afonso Eulalio for the 9th day. He is in the blue-pink jersey as the race leader. The man in blue wants to swap. That is Jonas Vingegaard. He wants the jersey today, and he's got his teammates on the front. Matthew Keenan with you, joined by 2 stage winners of the Giro d'Italia, David McKenzie and Caleb Ewan. Caleb, how are you enjoying the stage so far?
Yeah, I'm enjoying it from the commentary booth, and these are the days that I would be really worried about, so I'm happy I'm not racing, and I'm happy I'm just talking about it instead.
Macca, very aggressive start to the stage, but you would expect that on a day where kilometre 0 started with a 15-kilometre climb.
Yeah, exactly that. Good evening to everyone in WA. I imagine we're getting a little spike in ratings over there, and for good reason. Isn't it exciting that we've got 4 Australians, 3 WA riders inside the top 10. So This is a key stage, no doubt. It's one of the key mountain stages of this year's Giro d'Italia, and we're going to see a reshuffling. I'm almost convinced of that tonight with the GC contenders. Big breakaway. They went away on the first climb, as we said, aggressive start. Basically, when they hit kilometre 0, the road was already going up. Aosta to Pila, but it all stays in this Aosta Valley. If you're familiar with part of this world, and if you're not, it's all around, very close to Mont Blanc, to the French border as well, in the northwest of the country. So it's a beautiful part of the world, but it's tough terrain.
At the back of the group is Luca Vergoletto. He is the only rider from Alpecin who's in the breakaway. The big figure of the time trial specialist. Is this our first victim? This is Lorenzo Melissi, who is getting dropped. He's done a lot of work for the team.
He has. He's been riding, and yeah, obviously starting to feel the pinch. So there's going to be a point, I think, guys, where Rubio and Mas for Movistar in the breakaway I'm talking about. We've been talking about the gap. It's out to 3 minutes, but there's going to be a crunch point where I think they've got to back themselves in, Caleb, to go on the attack and split that breakaway group apart and actually roll the dice and go for home.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of guys in that group just kind of hanging on, not really contributing much, just hanging on there. So I think you'll see a lot of the stronger guys in the next kind of 2 climbs now kind of coming to the front, and then we'll see a selection from that front group.
And we're starting to see selection from it already. This is going out the back. This is Nicholas Zukovsky from Pinarello Q36.5.
Yeah.
Chris Juul-Jensen is also under pressure at the back. He really is starting to suffer the day.
Yeah, and this is, isn't it interesting, and you weren't wrong, Matt, but this is the easier climb of the day. But this is where the pressure is starting to mount. So this is good. One Movistar rider following, but there are some splinters starting to appear here. And, you know, what we've become accustomed to seeing in recent years in, you know, the modern professional cycling, long-range attacks. Long-range attacks can win the day. Years ago, we would have said, yeah, that's crazy, it's suicidal. But I know we've got a lot of climbing to go, but 73 kilometres, I'd like to think 50 kilometres to go. This is where, if you're feeling good about yourself in this breakaway, you could go for home.
Well, it's Leknenson who is at the front, and he is driving the tempo. He's working for Johannes Kulset. He believes that that's their best option to be able to win the stage. Leknenson was second again yesterday, and he was asked afterwards about the tactics of attacking so hard on the climb. He said, it was my best opportunity. I had to arrive alone, and I knew I had to take a risk. Maybe I could have waited just a little bit longer, but I couldn't go to the finish line with Bettiol. I was going to lose.
Yeah, and in his defence, because hindsight's a wonderful thing, and, you know, he didn't know the climb. Bettiol had motor paced up the climb in training. He'd obviously spent some time there. His partner's from that town. So he had earmarked the stage. He made the breakaway. So that's when all of that memory would have come back to him. He'd watched the descent as well. So, no, Leknenson, I don't think too many criticisms of him should go his way. Yeah, he got out bluffed maybe by Bettiol and tactically outmastered, but it was still a great ride.
The stat that just came up about his second place finishes, the first one where he finished second, that was with Paddy Pantra, who won the stage. But Leknenson, he sacrificed the stage to move into the pink jersey, and he held on to the pink jersey for 5 days and finished in the top 10.
And that's almost worth more. Well, and then obviously the top 10 is brilliant, isn't it?
He's doing some damage here, Caleb, because we're seeing Jefferson Cepeda at the back, the diminutive climber from Ecuador.
Oof. Yeah, they're really putting the hammer down now, and I would have expected to see this group splinter a little bit later on, but yeah, this is the easier climb of the rest to come, and they're already going full gas.
Jan Christian is being dropped, so too Jonathan Narvaez, as is
Enric Mas. I'm surprised about that. I did not expect that. Not with this size of the group here. I would have thought there would have been riders from this group being dropped before Enric Mas, so feeling the pinch a little bit.
Well, he comes into the season somewhat underdone, because after abandoning the Tour de France last year on the stage of the Col de la Loze on stage 18, he didn't race for the rest of the year, and he had close to 3 months off the bike to recover. This is a real split. Leknenson, Kulset and Ciccone driving at home. Arrieta is now trying to respond for UAE Team Emirates.
Well, 1.3 from the summit, so they've gone up this pretty rapidly, this climb. Almost done.
Meanwhile, this is David de la Cruz. He's the rider who is the best placed in the general classification from this group. He's a one-tempo kind of guy, de la Cruz. He doesn't like the acceleration from Lecknitzer.
He fights on though, doesn't he? For a guy that's not brilliant at anything, he's pretty good at everything, and he can just, probably the one thing he's real Achilles heel is his descending skills, but outside of that he boxes on, he finds a way, and tactically he rides well, he gets himself in the breakaways.
Arrieta's still in the group for UAE. This team has found themselves another one. The 23-year-old has already been a stage winner. Well, if it was a racehorse, he would have been expensive, coming out of the stock with his father being a stage winner at the Volta d'Espanya. Look at the power that's been put out by Lecknitzer at the front here, Caleb.
Yeah, they are going full gas, and you can see with that kind of power, he's probably not that heavy of a guy. You can see why he's doing so much damage to this group now.
Lopez is still there for Movistar, so too is Einar Rubio, the two smallest guys from Movistar.
Well, that's it. They knew, you know, perfectly they weren't going to have four end up in the group, but they got four in the initial break, so that was good, and now they've got two left. So they've got to sit tight a little bit, the two Movistar riders. This is good for them. So too, Jan Hurt.
Yeah.
Still there. And sits, he's the second best placed in this breakaway, 7:53 at the start of the day in arrears, so this is good for Jan Hurt.
17th overall in the general classification. So the riders in the breakaway, obviously they've got different sizes, so the power to weight varies somewhat, but they've been averaging between 290 and 320 watts, each of them, across the spread of the group out in front on the stage so far. But in the last 2 kilometres on this climb, Andreas Lecknitzer has been averaging between 400 and 440. He is putting the hurt on. This is now Tim Rex, who is at the front for Visma Lease Bike. So they're down to one of their flatland specialists. Timo Kulic looks like his job is done. Tim Rex now takes over.
And the Magliarosa just, well, we haven't seen a front-on close-up shot yet, but we can certainly see him and see that jersey. He's nestled back in about 20 years. There he is. He's looking all right. There he is. The camera's heard us. They've just spotted him out for us. So far, so good.
And now Jardy Vanderlee going to the top of the climb. 9 points on offer. He's already picked up points today in the race for the King of the Mountains classification. Arrieta responds because over the first climb, which was a Category 1 climb, it was Jardy Vanderlee who sat behind the teammate of Arrieta. He was in the slipstream the whole way up of Jan Christian and then flicked over the top and gave a small sorry mate when he got there. Arrieta, he won't give a sorry mate, but he will try and take the points.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious, isn't it? They're going to have a little battle royale on their hands here. Across the top, Vanderlee, he's got his head on a swivel at the moment.
Igor Arrieta, he started the day on 18 points, and now he goes to try and pick up the 9. Is he going to get there? Has he got the timing right? It looks as if he has. Maximum points for Igor Arrieta over the top. So he collects 9 points. In second position, Jardy Vanderlee, he gets the 4 points. Next across is Giulio Ciccone. And there's what is left of the group. It was 25 at one point. Looks like David de la Cruz has returned to the back of the group. So the experienced Spaniard has found his rhythm.
2 climbs down. 3 to go. Cat 1 is next on the menu.
The Linois climb. It's a horrible climb, Macca, because there's hardly any descending. They go up for 7.5 kilometres, down for 3, and then back up for another 5.6 on the Category 2 climb.
Yeah. Yeah, and this Category 1, it's not as long as the first or the last climb, but it's rated the same because it's got an average grade of close to 8% for 7.5 kilometres.
Okay, look, they continue to build up their lead, and this is a longish descent. They need to make the most of it, the breakaway group.
Yeah, they'll need to make the most of all these descents and valleys that they've got coming up, because they will hit the hardest part of the stage now. So I'd expect to see the time coming back down pretty soon.
It's the back of the peloton. That's Marcus Schoolgaard at the rear. We return to the front of the race. Lemon is the rider in the yellow colours of Visma Lease bike. There'll be no collecting a water bottle today for Jonas Vingegaard. His teammates will do that. This will be table service for Vingegaard in the mountains.
For this group, little gaps here and there. That might be just from collecting feed bags or bottles. So still a decent-sized peloton, actually.
It is, and it also highlights how much Visma Lease bike are managing their effort, because they need to keep, in particular, Sepp Kuss and Davide Pigenzolo in good shape for the start of the last climb, which is still close to 50 kilometres away from getting started.
Yeah, that's right. In the context of the stage, it's in distance-wise, you think that's not far, but you've got to go into 2 more climbs before that. So, yeah, they are managing it well at the moment, and not panicking, not worrying about this breakout in front. They're no stress. De La Cruz and Jan Hurt, yes, they're in a pretty good position, but 6:43 and 7:53 respectively in arrears at the start of the day. They're not a threat really to the overall, because they know time is going to close this up somewhat, even if they don't win the stage from behind. Visma I'm talking about. They know they'll bring it back down to at least a minute, at worst, probably.
What do you make of this move by Arietta?
I'm not quite sure what he's doing. Yeah, they've already crested, so he might just want to have a little bit of a head start on the descent. But he'll want to use that group as much as possible. Obviously, he's feeling good. He looks quite good, so he'll want to use that group as much as possible and keep his legs as fresh as possible for the rest of the stage now.
Yeah, he's got close to 11 kilometres before the next climb actually starts. So having that group around him will be useful. It is still quite a big peloton. And this is a confident move.
Yeah.
Bahrain Victoria's coming to the front.
I did see that rider a few kilometres ago, sort of nestled in between Visma team. So I thought, okay, they're pretty keen to assist here.
To highlight how difficult the race organisers believe the stage will be today, they give 3 average speeds and working out the timing from there. The slowest they expect the stage to be is 30 kilometres per hour. The most likely average speed is 32 k's per hour. The fastest they anticipate is 34 kilometres per hour. They're currently at 35.7, but it's definitely going to slow down on the last climb. The average speed will drop. It's going to land somewhere around the 33 to the 34 kilometre per hour mark.
Yeah. And when we talk about average speeds, we're almost obsessed with it in this modern era, because they're so fast. That's a massive jump, isn't it? From, a day like yesterday, obviously, that was pretty pan flat until the very end. But even on sort of some undulating days where they're still averaging 45, so we're talking 10 kilometres under in average speed, and that is, of course, because of the terrain.
Well, Van der Lee didn't want the Soignier in the way because he wanted to go for the points in the King of the Mountains classification. Quick response from Arietta.
It's a long way to go, 500 metres if you're going to go for the points.
Yeah, I think he was obviously, perfect scenario, he was hoping no one was going to jump with him and then he could just tap across. But yeah, Arietta, he was very quickly on the wheel, wasn't he?
An update in the King of the Mountains classification. Vingegaard leads on 111 points. Diego Sevilla is second on 63 points. Jardy van der Lee in the green colours in the breakaway. He's now moved up to third on 59 points. And Igor Arietta, he's in 6th spot on 33 points. There's still some big points to come. You win the next climb, you get 40. The one after that, 18. And at the finish line, you get 50. So there's still 108 points up for grabs if you win all of the climbs.
And I'll tell you who's doing a good job so far. We've already talked about him, but only because he's, well, for a number of reasons, Vlasov in the breakaway. just doesn't seem to be doing too much on the front. He's not bothering about the King of the Mountains points. We know his credibility as a climber, what he's capable of. So one, he's just playing a really good team role for Jai Hindley and Palizzardi, his Red Bull teammates, but also giving himself the best chance of being here deep into the final.
Alexander Vlasov, he's never won a stage of a Grand Tour before. The closest he's been is second on a stage at the Volta de España 2 years ago.
Never won a stage?
No.
Jeez, I would have been convinced he had.
He's been second overall at Paris-Nice. He's won the Tour of Romandy. He's won a stage at Paris-Nice. He's won a stage in the Tour de Provence. He's won some good races. He's won a stage in the Tour de Suisse, but not yet in a Grand Tour.
Wow.
You have to be really good to win a stage, don't you, Macca?
You've got to be really good, even just one.
Nice work, Caleb, yours.
Yeah, I wasn't confident to say that joke, but I'll jump in on it, definitely.
Do you like this by Bahrain victorious?
Yeah, well, I think they're, at the moment, what they're doing, one is respecting the race and respecting the Maglia Rosa and respecting Visma, for that matter, in assisting. Yeah, they're on the front foot. Win, lose or draw by day's end. I won't criticise them by day end if Eulalio loses the jersey. I just think this is a show of confidence and in showing that, hey, we're leading this race, so we're not just going to lie down today.
How much of it do you think is respecting the jersey compared to we think we have a chance to keep the jersey?
Yeah, that's the bigger question, I suppose, isn't it? Or that's the right question. Yeah, I think probably more so respecting, Matt.
Yeah, absolutely it is.
Yeah.
What do you believe, Caleb?
Yeah, I'd say it's a respecting thing. I think if he had the real hope that, he would stay in the jersey, I'd say he would want Jumbo or Visma to be using as much energy as possible in these stages and not giving them any help.
Yeah, saving his teammate.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think he should be saving his teammate because it's not just about the pink jersey for Afonso Eulalio. We've got 5.7 kilometres before the next climb starts. Let's not forget that in the race for the white jersey of the best young rider, he leads that classification by 3 minutes and 42 seconds.
Yeah.
For the podium spot, third position is a little over 2 minutes behind. There's still so much to race for. He's not going to surrender. He'll fight all the way to the finish. But if you're in the team car, I'd be thinking, OK, Visma, you want to work? We'll save our resources for when it matters for us.
Yeah, I'm really curious, and we're jumping ahead, but we'll never know until the day's end where the cards fall and land. But I'm looking forward to the reset for Bahrain and for Eulalio after today's stage. It's going to be really interesting to see what their objectives are and how they approach it moving forward as a team, because for now it's just been this dream run and they've earned it. They've worked for it and earned it. So they deserve every accolade of this last, 9 days in the Maglia Rosa. I mean, that's amazing. But if that ends today, then I'm really keen to see how they tackle, the remaining week.
They could be more ruthless. This is Juan Pedro Lopez at the back for Movistar. In front of him, his teammate is Enric Mas. Enric Mas found himself in a really difficult position, Caleb, a few days ago when he was in a 2-up sprint against Jonathan Narvaez.
Yeah, it's always going to be hard for him to be in that position, but Jonathan Narvaez this Giro just seems to be on another level, and he's had such a great run so far.
And this is his teammate who has also had a stage victory, Igor Arrieta. It was an emotional day. The weather added to it. Cold, miserable, long stage, crashes. It had the lot.
That first week, jeez, I mean, I wasn't in the booth with you guys, but jeez, I thought, are we in for a rain-soaked 3 weeks of Giro? Because we've had a couple over the years, probably the last decade. We've had 1 or 2 that have been brutal. But thankfully for the riders, I think spectators too, whether you're roadside or watching it on the TV, these are the beautiful pictures we love to see.
Now, can Enric Mas hit the reset button and stick with these guys? He's had a long time out at the end of last season. He's not at his best, but he's got 3 teammates in the breakaway with him. We are 3.5 kilometres away from starting the next climb of the day.
Here we go again.
Got a bunch of fans calling my phone, say that I'm number one, yeah I know. You can't get me off of my throne, nah. It feels like it's been worth the wait. You won't say a word when I show up.
The 2026 FIFA World Cup starts June 12, live and exclusive to SBS and on demand.
Living with diabetes? Manage your glucose with a CGM that makes things easy. Dexcom gets you. We get that you want to easily monitor glucose levels. We get that you're working to stay in range day by day. And we get that you don't want to stop for finger pricks when you want to make a splash. Easy, accurate with better health outcomes. Shop the Dexcom One Plus for people with type 2 diabetes or get Dexcom G7 subsidised for Australians with type 1 diabetes. Dexcom gets you. Get started at dexcom.com.au.
The case is taking over. It's all about crossing that line.
Am I going to remember what I've done?
Marcella, stream free on SBS On Demand. Winner of 4 Emmy Awards.
Multiple homicide!
With an iconic cast and who's who of guest stars.
No more.
It's one of the most influential TV dramas of all time. Homicide, Life on the Street. Stream free on SBS On Demand.
أنا أخواتي بيموتوا من الجوع ما نسوي تغذية كمان. فيقوا بالليل بيبقوا من الجوع يعني ما بنحسن يعني نعمل لنا أكل. أيام كتل ولم فلا من قهر فين مليون جميع فين مليون يا شغل.
For Carlton, Tariq and Basira, seeing their siblings suffer from malnutrition is heartbreaking. Save the Children were able to help these children, but millions more are still caught in a global hunger crisis that is only getting worse. Families are at risk of starvation. With just $3 a week, you can provide life-saving food and medical care to help families like these beat this hunger crisis. No child should see their siblings suffer like this. Please help today. Call 1-800-716-739 or visit savethechildren.org.au to give $3 a week.
How good's me time? Do moments to yourself exist as a mum, do they?
Bedtime is my me time.
I have a hiding spot when I lock my bathroom. Can't even go to the toilet in peace. I'll let you know if it ever happens.
How good's that? Big W.
Mum and Dad and the twins getting ready for a scary movie. And Dad's not ready at all.
Buckle up, big guy. Does not get better from here.
M&M's. It's more fun together.
This work can be too much for people.
This is what we're here for.
I know what we're here for.
We feared this day would come.
We have to follow orders.
It's on us. All of it.
Whatever you're doing here, don't.
The Americans. Stream now on SBS On Demand.
Down through the valley and onto the climbs yet again. It is a beautiful backdrop, Caleb Bjorn, but it's also a daunting one.
Yeah, it's a nice place to look at, but it's probably not a great place to race, unless you're one of the good climbers.
Here it is, Macca, on the right. It's Mother Nature at its very best.
Yeah, I mean, look, we say it every day, and beautiful part of the world. This is a great part of the world, but it is. There is something special about this country, Italy, and if you've been fortunate enough to go there and see all these different parts, and of course the Giro tour, which, oh gee, they'll have their work cut out today. Even on an e-bike, they'll be working a little bit harder, I would imagine. But that's been a great addition, actually, to the bike race. It's been a number of years now, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been for at least 6 years.
Yeah,
maybe
I would
longer.
say so, yeah.
Now they're on to the official start of the climb. The man who is driving this leading group is the Norwegian national champion, Andreas Leknensson. And this is page 1 in the Uno X Mobility race manual. This is the way they go about it. They take the race on. 7.5 kilometre climb. 5-star rating. It is steep. Average grading is almost 9%.
Yeah, this is impressive by Leknensson, and obviously he's riding for Coolset. And I'm just looking at Coolset, his CV. He's got a smattering of results. Third in the GC at Alula Tour, 5th at Tour of Turkey, Tour of Slovenia, 6th overall. Those 3 results alone were all in 2025. So he's got some climbing capabilities, because we know there's a summit finish in each of those tours. So we know he can climb, and we obviously know he can because he's handling this group out in front, no problems, Coolset. So they are backing him in today, big time.
And they know his talent because he's still very young. He's just 22 years of age. 2 riders from JK Alula in the group. One is still holding on, Koen Bouwman. Chris Juul Jensen, he is dangling at the back. Were you on the team with Chris Juul Jensen at some point?
Yeah, my first stint with Jayco, I was on the team with him, and then my second as well.
He's one of their longest standing riders.
He must be now one of their longest.
Yeah,
him and Durbo.
Durbo is the only remaining original from 2012, and he's hanging it up at the end of the season. He's announced.
Yes,
Luke Durbridge.
Yeah,
he's had a really impressive career. He's been one of the captains of the road for that team for such a long time. I think Chris Juul Jensen would be the next longest with the squad. This is Matisse Pashins at the back of the peloton for Bahrain Victorious. It is drink duty time for the Dutchman. So they've been racing now for 2 hours. 37.2 kilometres per hour is the average on a really difficult day in the mountains. Bahrain Victorious at the front, protecting the pink jersey. Any concerns, Caleb, for Bahrain Victorious with riders in the leading group?
Well, Igor Arrieta, 9 minutes down. He wouldn't want to give too much of a head start to him on that last climb.
So Arrieta for UAE Team Emirates. He's been a stage winner already. He currently sits 20th overall. He's inside the top 10 in the race for the white jersey. Let's look at the gap that the breakaway group has been able to establish. It's at 3 minutes and 40 seconds now. Jardy Vanderlee at the back from EF. That's another team that's in the conversation for the white jersey because they have Markel Balocki, who's back in the peloton. He's at 4 minutes and 20 seconds behind.
Yeah, there's a bunch of riders I'm really keen to see. And Balocki is one of those, how they handle today and where they end up by day's end. It's exciting. We've said it for a few days now, but I feel like outside of Jonas Vingegaard, there's no guarantees. We keep sort of assuming, predicting Vingegaard will ride on his merry way into the Maglia Rosa. So don't worry, I always say it's not done until they reach Rome. But outside of that, the top 10, top 12, any one of them can finish on the podium as far as I'm concerned.
And in the virtual general classification right now, I know it's not set until they make it to the finish line. David De La Cruz has climbed his way up 10 spots, up in a 6th position overall. Now on the road at 3 minutes and 1 second behind.
Yeah, he won't. He's been around the block too many times. He won't get too excited, will he? But in the back of the mind, he'll be hoping that this margin stays where it is because it'd be a nice little move for him by day's end.
This is Jan Hurt in the breakaway at the back for NSN. They've tried a few times with their sprinters. Ethan Vernon's had a top 3 finish. They have had a go with Corbin Strong. Now it's their climbers' time to fly the flag for them. Well, Poole's doing all he can to try and stop himself from overheating, number 207. This is Alexander Vlasov from Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe. From Bouwman is the next one behind him. This has been the race where Bouwman has had the most success in his career. 2 stages and a winner of the King of the Mountains classification previously.
Well, this is interesting. I just said a few kilometres ago, Vlasov had just been sort of hiding in the middle of the group, but now it looks like they're actually all prepared to work here. So there's been a little bit of a maybe unspoken words, but a bit of a nod and saying, okay, if we want to win this bike, this stage, we've got to stop playing games for now. We can play the tactical game on the last climb, but for now we've got to work hard and try and consolidate this.
At De La Cruz, up out of the saddle in the navy blue colours of Pinarello, Q36.5. Enric Mas now coming through to the front. Normally he's a team leader, but this year we've even seen him part of the lead-out train for their sprinter. I've liked it.
Yeah, obviously, you know, his role mainly is to ride GC, but yeah, he's becoming a bit more of an all-rounder. Obviously not climbing as good as he would have hoped. He probably would have hoped that he was going to be riding GC here, but yeah, he's doing a good job to be, you know, in select groups like this as well.
And Movistar, they had 4 in the group initially, but the rider in the white colours from Movistar that's just dropped back, that is Lorenzo Malissi. This is the leader somewhat for the white jersey. He's got this jersey on loan, Giulio Palazzari.
Yeah, and where is he at? We saw an interview with Jai Hindley before the start. He said, obviously, it's not news. We've been under the weather a bit, and by the sounds of it, not just them too. A few other riders within the team, but the way Jai answered that was like they're coming out the other side of it. So it's still a tough day, isn't it? Even if you come good, you've lost something, haven't you, Caleb? The best thing you could do, which they can't do, is go home for a week and recover, but the race doesn't allow you to do that.
Respond to that in a moment. I'm loving seeing the smile of Eulalio. He also leads the race for the white jersey. He had a Piganzoli, Bolocchi, Rondell, and Piganzoli is 5th. Palazzari is 2nd.
Sorry, what were we talking about?
I was talking about riders getting sick.
Oh, yeah.
And in a perfect scenario, the best scenario, you go home and lie in bed for a week, but they don't have that luxury, do they?
Yeah, it's pretty hard when you're racing full gas for 3, 4, 5 hours every day. So it is really hard to recover when you're on a Grand Tour, whether you crash or you get an illness. It's just really hard to if you can go sit in bed for even 2 days, you can recover a lot. But when your body's so under the pump trying to recover from racing, it's super hard to recover from any illness.
Well, everything has gone right for this guy, and even in that position, it's hard to recover in a Grand Tour.
I'm just loving, he belongs where he is. You know, he's just showing mannerisms like a seasoned pro. He's taking it all in his stride.
Number 16, he took it all in his stride when he took out a stage victory, and it was perfectly planned. I love that he got asked the question, when did you plan that attack at 3 kilometres to go? He said last night.
They're the riders that you just really hate, don't you? When they do that perfect attack, 3 kilometres to go. It wasn't an outright sprinter's day, but gee, it was a damn good move.
Yeah, if you're one of the sprinters hanging in there and you think, all right, I've made it, and I'm going to have my chance at the victory, and someone like that goes with 3 kilometres to go and stays away, it is pretty frustrating.
And I said on the night, it's not something we see often anymore, is it? Because, teams are so clinical in those finales. They keep the tempo high, so it's pretty rare what he did. Yeah,
and I think the benefit for him was it was a tough day. So there was a lot of tired legs. There was a lot of teams that if the sprinter was there, they had limited teammates. So it was the perfect day to do an attack like that.
It certainly was. And in the end, he had plenty of time to sit up and enjoy it, 50 metres out.
2 Dutch riders at the back, not teammates, but they know each other pretty well. Well, Pauls 207 is one of the most talkative guys in the peloton.
He is, and he's got a CV to go with it as well, to back it up.
He was the first rider from Team Sky, now Net Company Ineos, to win a monument when he won Liège-Bastogne-Liège.
Yeah, that was a brilliant victory, wasn't it?
This is cool set now on the front for Uno X Mobility. He is their priority day. Einar Rubio on the stage in the rain that was won by Igor Arrieta. Einar Rubio was in the breakaway, and he looked to have really good legs early, but he got destroyed by the weather. Mother Nature was the most combative that day. Ben Turner at the rear. I don't know if I like this, Macca. Scene number 125, Giulio Palazzari at the back.
I know. That last shot, I was thinking he's a bit further back than what I'd like to see. Thumbs up.
but no smile, and normally he is chirpy. What body language are you reading?
Well, I mean, usually you wouldn't give a thumbs up if you're not feeling that good, but usually as well, if you're feeling good, you're racing much more, towards the front of the bunch. So he's not even sitting with his teammates. It is a bit of a worry him sitting this far back at this point of the race.
And just behind him is the South African Alan Hatherley, the mountain biker for Jaco Ulula, who is the least experienced at riding elite level road races within this group. But geez, he's got some potential.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, isn't it? Pretty cool indeed. Is it I noticed the camera, so I'll just keep a cool face, or is he actually feeling pretty good? Yeah, I'm with you, Carl. He's getting a bit too far back.
That is the least convincing thumbs up I've seen this season.
Yes, yeah.
But in saying that, if you're really under the pump, when the camera's on you, you just pretend it's not there.
Yeah,
so,
you give nothing.
But yeah, who knows?
He has a pretty good relationship with the camera, though.
Is that him moving up now, maybe, on around the outside?
Yeah, there is a rider. We'll see.
I don't know if it's him or not, but
if it is, the camera will find him. It's warm at the top of the climb, even at an altitude of 1,200 metres, 25 degrees. That's hot.
Yeah, and for this time of the year, because you can get, look, the weather across these alpine ranges here generally is a bit more stable than when you go over towards the Italian Alps, the Stelvio, half the time they're under snow. So it is a bit more stable here. They don't get those nasty weather fronts, but it is still May, so that is very warm.
There's time bonuses to factor in for the stage victory as well. You win this stage, you get a 10-second time bonus, 6 seconds for second place and 4 seconds for third. We've got Moholovic at the front for Bahrain victorious, keeping Jonas Vingegaard within striking distance of that stage victory. If they believe that Eulalia can hold on to the pink jersey, surely they don't want to give Vingegaard an opportunity to get another 10 seconds with the stage win.
Yeah, I don't know really what tactic they're playing at here. I'd say they should just leave it all up to Visma, let them use their guys early and just really not help them out at all. They are the strongest team in the race, so I just wouldn't be helping them.
Johnny Moscon at the back for Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe. For the Lidl Trek team, it is Emmanuel Gabriel-Zabier. And still holding on at the back is the big man, Filippo Ganna.
He is. Yeah. Palazzari, that wasn't him that jumped up peloton from that aerial shot, because I just noticed him. He moved up a few more spots, but still towards the back.
And Luca Vegaletto from Alpecin Premier Tech. He was in the breakaway. He's now been dropped and reeled back in by the peloton. This is at the back of the breakaway. And this is Alexander Vlasov. There's the standings in the general classification from this group. De La Cruz ahead of Jan Hurt, Igor Arrieta, Johannes Kulset, then Giulio Giacconi, followed by Enric Mas. Vlasov, Bulls, Lopez, Donovan, Garofoli. Gun Baumann is the next best in 40th position overall, followed by Einar Rubio and Jardy van der Lee. Seeing how much Giulio Palazzari is struggling at the back, I want to go back to the conversation we had about the strategy for Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe with Alexander Vlasov in the breakaway. I think they've wanted to make sure somebody is up the road to be on hand to support Jai Hindley later.
Yeah, and that's right. And again, the two-pronged attack, if you like, potentially for a stage win as well, if all else fails. So, yeah, I think I like that move, and they it's great when you get the right guy up the road, isn't it?
Jan Christian, Jonathan Narvaez, and Nicholas Zulkowski. They were in the original breakaway group of 25. They're now caught by the peloton. 2.4 kilometres to go to the top of this climb.
I did expect Jan Christian to last a little bit longer, actually, in that group, to be honest.
I definitely did.
Yeah.
Especially the first climb, he was off the front.
Yeah.
So that could just be a little bit, inexperience.
Yeah.
He just needs to hold back a little bit. There's obviously a lot of hard climbs still to come.
Trampoline in the backyard, 24 degrees, not much wind, beautiful day in the mountains. Got the sunshade out. Oh, Tim Rex is really turning himself inside out at the front.
Yeah, you did see the expression on his face as well. Yeah, the screws are starting to turn here. You just see a couple of gaps opening up.
And Miholovic has come to a grinding halt off the left-hand side of the road. Filippo Ganna, he too is being dropped. And Oliver Narsson, number 35 for Decathlon, that's been outstanding to hold on for that long.
Yeah, it's a surprise to still see him there. There's a few big guys still in that group, so I still don't think they've gone absolutely full gas yet, but I'm sure we'll see it pretty soon.
Well, as a team, they haven't, but as an individual, Tim Rex has. And he's just been told there by Victor Campenuts, we need you to keep going for another few Ks. Just hold on there, big boy.
Just to zoom in there on Colsett on the race radio. Trying to pick up.
And then immediately you can see the response coming from Leknenson, his teammate. What is a big advantage for this team? I'm tipping there's not many other guys in this breakaway who speak Norwegian.
Yeah, that's right.
It's a whole Norwegian team, likewise the sports directors. So often you see riders go back to the team car when they have to have a confidential conversation. They don't need to.
No, that's right. Yeah, it's true. I mean, years ago it was there wasn't too much English spoken in the peloton, but nowadays, gee, all of the European nations and riders, they all speak, or a lot of them speak excellent English. So you can't defer to that. But you're right, Matt. Norwegian, it wouldn't be too many.
They could be shouting tactics to each other there. No one would know what's going on.
That's it. Yeah. Yeah, don't even worry about lowering the voice.
Yeah, there's no whispering out of the corner of your mouth.
No.
The language creates the secret. They're losing time, though, to the peloton, the breakaway. It's back down to 3:19.
Yeah, they've just ramped it a little bit here, Visma. You can look at this. And you can see the damage that is starting to be done. You know, it wasn't that long ago we said, oh, it's still a pretty big peloton. It's shrunk already.
And when they get over the top of this climb, it's a really short descent before they then go on to the next climb. Well, Leknenson might have been the first to talk, to let Colsett know, I'm done.
Well, he did his job, didn't he? And a good job. He's given them a chance. The breakaway, that is.
Here is the general classification at the start of the stage. Eulalio with 33 seconds up his sleeve ahead of Vingegaard, followed by Arensman at 2:03. Felix Gall at 2:30. The first of the Australians is Ben O'Connor in 5th position, 2:50 down. In 6th place is Jai Hindley at 3:12. In 7th position, Michael Storer at 3:34. Followed by Derek G, Giulio Padazzari, and then 4 minutes and 15 seconds behind is Chris Harper. Arietta still sets the tempo at the front. Behind him is Jardy Vanderlee. Next in line is Enric Mas. He's found his legs on this climb, Enric Mas. He was dropped on the previous one. The harder the climb, the better he is.
Yeah, it's well, I was about to say strange, not necessarily. You can sort of take a bit to ride into the day, and maybe he is. Maybe he's just starting to find his legs a bit now. Oh, that looks horrible.
He's lost his legs.
He'll be trying just to get over the top of this climb now and see if he can lead them into the next one. But I don't know if he's going to be able to make it.
Yeah.
You spoke about taking the power meters away earlier in the stage, Caleb. We don't need a power meter to know how hard he's working.
Yeah, he's all out at the minute.
And then you look at these guys, they're having a conversation. I'll take the entree, thank you. And
oh, no, that was...
I'll take some food.
That was point break. He was just saying, Utah, give me 2. Nice strong setup here around Felix Gall. In front of him is Gregor Muhlberger. Behind him is Callum Scottson. So another Aussie in this front group.
He's a quiet achiever, isn't he? Goes about his business. Callum Scottson, that is. He was impressive last year at the Tour de France, and in particular on a couple of those big mountain stages as well. And he's been equally like that here on a couple of days.
Victor Campenuts with the glasses down the back of his speed suit. He's the one calling the shots. He's collected a water bottle there from the Alpecin Premier Tech team. Here's yesterday's stage winner, Alberto Bettiol. He's the oldest stage winner in the Giro since Cav won in Rome in 2023.
And that's not that old, 32. Well, it just tells you the evolution of cycling, doesn't it? We talk about it at the start of the night, Caleb, with the young talent that's coming through. A lot of younger winners these days.
Yeah, it does seem to be like it's turning into a young person's sport, but the young guys have been dominating the last few years.
Cadel Evans won the Tour de France at 34. He made his debut in the race at 28.
It's unheard of, and forgive us at home, Matt and I keep reminiscing of our teenage years, and even sort of back prior to that in the 80s, when, you know, one of our heroes, Phil Anderson, one of the pioneers and the first non-European to wear the yellow jersey at the Tour de France, Fignon, all of those, they were in their early 20s. It was a young man's game then, so it's like the sport has done full circle back in terms of age bracket where you're dominating, and the best in the world are young. It's gone back to that.
And we're back towards the battle for the King of the Mountains classification. Another big opportunity for the man in the green colours, Jardy van der Lee, to collect 40 points. He's moved himself up into third position in that classification today. Just 200 metres to go to get to the top. He was first over the first of today's climbs. He got second on the next one. And here is another Category 1 climb, a big opportunity for him. Number 192, though, from UAE, Igor Arrieta. He, too, wants the points. Mark Donovan sets the tempo, followed by David de la Cruz. Van der Lee has got himself behind Arrieta.
He needs element of surprise here. He doesn't want to go too soon, as we saw on the last one.
That's a huge gap between first place and second place. It's 40 points for the win. It's 18 points for second place.
That's
and it's Van der Lee who goes first. Reaction then comes from Ciccone. He still has ambitions for this classification. He's won it before, and he's won it at the Tour de France, and he is taking a step forward. 40 points for Ciccone, 18 points for Van der Lee. 12 points across the top for Igor Arrieta, and next through, 9 points for Einar Rubio.
I thought he did as best as he could, Van der Lee, then Caleb. I wanted him to get the element of surprise. Ciccone was just too quick.
Yeah, he was just a bit too quick there, and he did time his sprint perfectly, so there's not much you can do when someone's quicker than you.
Remember when he won the King of the Mountains classification at the Tour de France, and when it was mathematically sealed, he went over that climb with his arms in the air like he just won the stage, and he just didn't care.
Yeah, and good. I loved it. That's why not. You work hard for it. He's going on with it.
He's pressing on. He is indeed, because it's a really short descent, and then they're on to the next climb, which is 5.5 k's long at almost 7%. Just 50 kilometres to go, and 2 climbs. The final one is a Category 1 climb at 16.5 kilometres. Just 3.2 kilometres before the climb starts. So after going up a mountain for 7.5 kilometres, they only get a 4k descent.
Yeah, this is where it gets really hard. Here's a replay. Van der Lee's just not zippy enough. That was a good reaction, and Arrieta, he got the better of him this time, but the problem was Ciccone's now starting to show some real interest in this category.
Do you think we'll see any moves from the bunch before the last climb?
No.
No, I think it's just, yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be just a tempo-ridden and fairly high. And as you called it, Caleb, they're just going to get quicker and quicker, Visma, aren't they? Because they're stronger climbers now will start to take over. 50k to go, though. They've got a chance this breakaway.
Pose the same question to you.
Well, I hope to see something, but yeah, I don't think tactically it would be the best move, just because it's such a long descent and kind of long valley before the last climb. So you just have to do so much work. You'd have to do, obviously, the work to get away, and then you'd have to do so much work on the descent and in the valley, and then to try to hold it for a 16-kilometre climb afterwards is just not really viable.
Well, the guy in the front, Tim Rex, he has been there since the bottom of the climb, and he has averaged 400 watts. Here he is, Tim Rex at the front. He has earned himself the new title in this year's Giro d'Italia as the Prince of Sufferers.
It certainly is. It's the best grimace I've seen possibly since Thomas Vauclair, the great Frenchman. He used to give some great expressions, but this is right up there.
Thomas Vauclair had some GST on it when the camera was there.
He did.
This is the real thing here from Tim Rex.
Yeah. There's no putting it on, but he does lead them across the top of the climb. So he's suffered, he's hung in there, and he's done a great job.
He's kept the gap stable. It hasn't changed at all on that climb. That's a lot of work by one guy who's really a monster for the flatlands, more so than the mountains. Bettiol still holding on at the back with the red number as the most combative from yesterday. So that's what they've done. In pink, in the grey, is what they've still got to go.
I think his job will now just to get them to the next climb, and then his job will be done for the day.
When he swings off, there's a fair chance he's going to come to a grinding halt.
That's the discussion, isn't it, Caleb, in the mornings, and we've talked about it before, but for those riders like Rex, his finish line, yes, he has to finish the stage in order to start tomorrow, but his finish line in terms of effort, major effort, will be at the bottom of this descent.
Yeah, and they would have discussed that before the stage start, obviously, and they would have said that everyone would have had their finish lines, along this course. And I think if they didn't set them out when he was suffering earlier on before, he probably just would have pulled off.
Yeah.
But because he knew, I have to get to that point to kind of get my team to succeed today, he was just going all out to make sure he got to his finish line for the day.
There's an update in the King of the Mountains classification. Vingegaard hasn't had any points yet. Jardy van der Lee has picked up 61 points. He is on 77. Sevilla is then next, followed by Ciccone, who is closing in on the leaderboard. Donovan again at the front for the breakaway. You spoke about David de la Cruz Macca earlier, and he does struggle with descending. I like the way they've got him up in a second spot.
Yes, and he's obviously doing a better job, because we haven't spotted him floundering near the back, where we've seen a couple, you and I, over the years. He's been absolutely atrocious, and I think that's understatement. So he's done a good job here, de la Cruz. There he is. He swings off, short turn, smart. So he's obviously thinking more bigger picture here.
Vlasov now takes over the pacemaking. 5.6 kilometres long, this one.
Well, this is a Category 2, so the last one was a Category 1. A little bit longer by a couple of kilometres. This does seem gradient. Yes, is not quite as steep as well. 6.9%. The last one was 7.8. So this will be slightly easier.
And importantly, from the top of the climb, they have 25 kilometres of descending valley road before the next one. Gun Bowman, a man who has been a dual stage winner in the Giro d'Italia and a winner of the King of the Mountains classification. The big mountain of this stage, though, is still to come. That's the final one of the day.
Go, I'm ready.
This Reconciliation Week, celebrate the films of Warwick Thornton, one of Australia's most acclaimed voices.
We're looking for connection.
Bold, poetic and deeply moving, his work brings First Nation stories to life in a way that's utterly unforgettable. Focus on Warwick Thornton starts with We Don't Need a Map, Monday 7:30 on SBS World Movies and On Demand.
A lovely day. Lovely day. Lovely day.
Who is this? I can't remember what this one is called.
One woman, multiple identities.
Oh, your mom's in a bad place mentally.
United States of Tara. Stream free on SBS On Demand.
Next time, here, at your local Toyota dealership. Yeah. Toyota.
It's an ice bath.
Feel good?
I'm okay.
Eat Well soup from Heinz. Get $50 off batteries this tax time at Bunnings Trade. Trade in your old 18-volt battery in store and get $50 off select battery packs from Makita, DeWalt and AEG. T's and C's apply. Offer ends June 30 at Bunnings Trade.
Starting a business comes with what ifs. Like what if I open a barber but people stop cutting their hair? So set your business up right with ANZ and wonder what's the best that could happen.
Go Harvey Norman bonus gift cards on selected LG appliances. Bonus $140 gift card on this LG French door fridge. $500 gift card on LG 77-inch OLED. Plus buy 2 or more LG products and get a bonus LG e-gift card at Harvey Norman.
Go!
Jam-packed in here. That's the way we like it.
Jam-packed with 10 natural vitamins and minerals.
And you know, any audiology professional will tell you that hearing loss isn't just about volume. Actually, it's more like the brain working overtime to decode a distorted signal. It's really quite fascinating. Your auditory system is guessing what it missed, which could affect memory, focus, even how clearly you think. That's why it's absolutely essential that the right hearing aid is precisely fine-tuned just for you. So, how does it sound?
Book an appointment with a Specsavers hearing expert.
For the last 4 years, I've been a prisoner of this hotel.
Ah, G-sharp, I believe.
Why are they keeping you here? Why do they let you live?
This hotel is a dangerous place, especially for you.
You must never leave. If you do, I'll be waiting.
They can take away everything. But they can't take away who you are.
A Gentleman in Moscow. Stream now on SBS On Demand.
45 kilometres still to race, 4 Ks to go on the penultimate climb, and the break is being driven by Mark Donovan from Pinarello Q36.5. Their advantage, 3:32 over the peloton. Movistar, they've been so active in this year's Giro, more active than we've seen them for the last 2 years in Grand Tours. Nat White, their new sports director, he has brought some flair back into the Spanish team.
Well, it's just, you know, you get too comfortable, don't you? And we'll get back to that in a second, but Tim Rex, this is just moments ago, he just squeezed every last little bit out there, took them to the base of the climb and even to the beginning of the climb. Pat on the back from a teammate. Thank you very much. We'll take it from here.
As Davide Piccanzoli, he will be one of the last guys left with Jonas Vingegaard. How do you rate that for teamwork, Caleb?
Yeah, you know, he obviously went super deep there, and they have a solid plan today. He wanted to do his job. He wanted to get to where he needed to get to, and yeah, he went super deep.
And now it's Bart Lemon who is at the front setting the tempo. At the rear of the peloton is the triple stage winner, Jonathan Narvaez. But he's on target to move into the Chiclamina jersey at the end of today's stage.
He's looking very good. He's just got to finish the stage, doesn't he? Get through, which he will.
Likely to lose the jersey tomorrow on the stage into Milan, and a chance to get the jersey back on either Wednesday or Thursday, as they're 2 stages that he can win. Victor Campenaerts is the rider who's in second spot. One of the biggest personalities in the sport. You spent much time with him?
Yeah, I was teammates with him in Lotto. I think when I was there, he was there when I first went to Lotto, and then he came back actually at the end as well. Yeah, I was teammates with him in my last year in Lotto as well. But, you know, when I first was teammates with him, he was all in on TTs. He was going for the hour record that year as well. Just obsessed with TTs, and that was his main focus. And then he left the team and he went into more of like a classics, lead-out kind of role. And now he's gone to Visma, and he's now one of the main guys in the climb for them. So he's been through like a lot of different phases of his career, and he's nailed each one of them.
He's incredible, isn't he? I think he's amazing. And going back to Visma, and prior to that, when he was up for contract, out of contract, I'm getting mixed up where it was.
NCT, when that team collapsed?
Yeah, looking for a team. and it was almost done. But gee, just the professionalism of him to you know, and he obviously knew he had a lot more to give. He goes on and wins a stage at the Tour de France. Exceptional.
Some damage out in front. Jardy Vanderlee from EF Education Easy Post. He's been soaking up points in the King of the Mountains classification. Now he appears to be paying the price. This is Jack Haig at the back of the group. Jack Haig in a new role at Net Company Ineos. He's one of the key helpers for Tymon Arensman. Oh, he's still kind of smiling. He's still in pink, but he's only got a 33-second advantage over the man in blue. Eulalio versus Vingegaard.
He's doing a good job. He's lasted this long. I think he'll make it over this climb. So he's going to be with the front group at the base of this final climb. So far, so good for the Magliarosa.
Still 4 riders there for Net Company Ineos as Jack Haig is slipping out the back door. He's number 5.
Yeah, they've still got numbers there. So I'd like to see them do something, but I feel like the pace now is just too fast from Visma.
This is Jack trying desperately to hold on. He wants to survive over the top of this Macca so as he can help in the valley roads.
And Tudor. We've talked about Michael Storer earlier. 5 riders still there. That's a really good showing from Tudor.
Including the Motan Maestro, Larry Warbass, who was in the breakaway yesterday.
Yes, yeah, he's almost looks like he's having a better day today than Warbass.
The other American on the team, Will Barter, is still there. And so, not surprisingly, is Matisse Rondel, who is in 12th position overall. And when we had Cadel with us last weekend in commentary, he's been really impressed with the young Frenchman. And Cadel watches that team quite closely because they ride BMC bikes.
Yeah, of course, BMC, the bike brand started by the owner who owned the team, and he created the bike brand effectively because he created the team, got a couple of engineers in, people who knew how to build bikes, create a good brand. Andy Rees sadly passed away, but he had a lot of passion. And when he first got into cycling, one of my teammates, old teammates and good friends to this day, who rode very early years with Fonac, Dominic Perrat. And I remember him saying he was chatting to Andy Rees really early days. And he said, why cycling? And Andy Rees said, well, it's like this. I like sailing and I like cycling. Sailing costs a lot more. So it was cycling.
Well, Giulio Ciccone, he loves cycling. He particularly loves it in Italy. He's now attacking. Andy Rees was the Jerry Ryan of Swiss cycling.
Yeah, he was. And yeah, I had a couple of really brief chats with him at the Tour de France many moons ago now. But yeah, nice guy. And he had some real passion for the sport.
Well, Ciccone's got plenty of passion. The reaction is coming from behind. He checks across the shoulder. It's Einar Rubio of Movistar who was the first to react. Ciccone's been really open about how he feels in the Giro d'Italia. As an Italian, obviously he loves the Giro d'Italia, and it's the pink jersey as a kid that he dreamt of. But he said he also feels the pressure and that he feels the need to sign all the autographs and stop for all the photos before the start of each stage, because he can remember being that kid on the side of the barriers asking for the photo and the autograph.
Yeah, and that's cool, isn't it? It's really cool. And to know that you've got that per se responsibility to you know, in your home country, especially as a star, and young kids look up to you, it's important.
Almost at the top of this climb, 1,300 metres to go. 18 points on offer at the top of this, being a Category 2 climb. And Jardy Vanderlee, who's been chasing the points so far, he's out of contention. He won't get any points on this climb.
No, Ciccone's he's looking good for it, but Movistar are slowly but surely doing all the right things here.
And we've got a different version of Enric Mas now in the breakaway. Yeah. On the first major climb of the day, well, the second climb of the day, he was getting dropped.
Crazy.
He's worked his way back, and he's looking fantastic.
He's not done yet, is he?
There he is at the tail end of the group in the white colours. Einar Rubio, his teammate, is at the front. Alexander Vlasov from Red Bull, Bora Hansgrohe, is in second. Lots of team cars near the top of the climb. They'll have water bottles at the ready because it's really difficult for the team cars in the convoy to get past.
And someone like Muss, Caleb, that this goes across the board from any type of cyclist. Now that he's obviously climbing better, feeling better, it's the little man upstairs, the psychological thing. You can talk about all the data we want, but if suddenly psychologically you start to think, hang on a minute, I'm in this race, it's only 41 Ks to go.
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, that sometimes is the biggest battle that you'll have, but he could have been suffering from a little bit of a hunger flat. It could have been anything. You know, he might have just had a little bit of a hunger flat, maybe didn't get the fuel that he needed after the first time when there was no cars there. Suffered for a little bit, got some gels. You know, now he might just be back to 100%.
Got the engine running smoothly. Maybe put some of that cheap unleaded in. Didn't put the 95 or 98 in.
Well, he's looking as good as anybody in the leading group now. It's so hard to tell at this point. Visma Lease a Bike still with 4 riders in support of Jonas Vingegaard. They only started the stage with 7 in the race because Wilco Kelderman had to abandon after stage 3. Ciccone with Rubio, followed by Vlasov. Giulio Ciccone is hunting for the points in the King of the Mountains classification plus a stage win, and the two would work brilliantly together. Now he had to collect that big, heavy-looking bag with 500 metres to go. He's trying to use his sixth sense and feel for the move coming from behind. You can feel them coming, can't you, Caleb?
Yeah, Wout Poels actually just did a massive turn to close that gap, and he looks like he's suffering a little bit from it now, but at least he's got a descent coming up.
Is anyone going to challenge Giulio Ciccone for the points at the top of the climb? Mark Donovan, he's helped stitch it back together for David De La Cruz.
He's swinging off here, Ciccone. I'm a bit surprised. He's done all that pulling on the front. Did he just not want to be a sitting duck? Surely he wants the points.
Yeah, he wants the points because he slotted himself into the slipstream of Enric Mas. Vlasov setting the tempo will be perfect for Ciccone. Arrieta could be the challenger because he's coming up to collect points. He's been in the battle on the previous climb. Here he goes. Arrieta has caught Ciccone by surprise. Ciccone, though, has the inside running and the 18 points. The Italian gets the job done. Arrieta, is he able to hold on for second? Rubio, it will be... Oh, but we'll have to get the photo on that one. A little bit difficult to tell from the head-on shot. But we do know for certain, Ciccone got maximum point gain.
Yeah, he's actually got a sprint on him, hasn't he? These climbers, they're no match for Ciccone at the moment.
Ciccone looks really good, though. He accelerated very quickly there, no hesitation. So he's obviously feeling really good right now.
And now, I mean, that's a penultimate climb, isn't it? So we're on to the last climb. He's going to say he's keep the powder a little bit dry, but geez, feeling that good. Might be time to, at the base of the climb, sit, wait, watch for the first couple of kilometres, and then if he's not happy with the tempo, go for it.
And for second place?
Rubio.
Yeah, got him.
Yeah.
He's had one day in the pink jersey in this race, Giulio Ciccone, and it was on a miserable stage. It was covered with a black rain jacket for the whole day. The rider from Jacob Alula in this group, Koen Bouwman, sitting in second last position. He's been very quiet.
Yes, yeah, that's and when you're on a day like this and they're still there and they've been quiet, that's generally a good sign, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been a long time since he's had a win, Koen Bouwman. We said that yesterday about Alberto Bettiol, and he got the victory. What do you think is a higher priority here for Jacob Alula? Koen Bouwman to go for the stage victory, or be on hand to offer support to Ben O'Connor to try and finish in the top 3 overall?
I would say to help Benno. Yeah, for sure. I think if you've got a chance of being on the podium in the Grand Tour, then you have to be all in on that.
Well, this is a worrying sign, though, for the pink jersey. Afonso Eulalio has slipped to the back of the peloton. He's still got a teammate within this group, which is Damiano Caruso. And has he said to Caruso, the legs aren't good, you do your thing? There's Caruso. He sits behind the blue jersey of Jonas Vingegaard.
Yeah, he has stayed put, and that's where Eulalio was. just a few moments ago. So he'll make it across the summit here. He's got the descent, a little bit of recovery, and then one last big climb to come.
Bart Lemon, Victor Campanat, Sepp Kuss, Davide Piganzolo, and then Jonas Vingegaard. And the white jersey of Giulio Palizzari, he looked in trouble when the group was double this. He was at the back. He's still in there. He's still near the back, but he's still in contact. Not a lot to cheer about for the Italians in the general classification. Just one Italian inside the top 10 overall. We looked at some of the stats in the recent history of this race, Caleb. From 1997 to 2007, every winner of the general classification was Italian. And in 2 of those years, first, second and third were Italian riders. In the last 10 years, there's only been one Italian winner and only 2 other Italians inside the top 3.
Yeah, that is pretty interesting.
2:30. The gap has been closed by Bart Lemon from Visma.
Yeah, and reminding everyone, and look, we could be wrong, but the 3 of us unanimously think they need 4 minutes at the base of the climb if they're any chance of winning the day. I think they could do it with less. It just depends how good the legs are out in front. We're starting to see some signs of riders who've maybe got the legs. I mean, Enric Mas could be the man. He's come good. He looks like he's come good. And he's on the attack, is he?
Yes, he is. This is Enric Mas, now being followed by Giulio Ciccone. It is a long descent down until they hit the final climb. They've got almost 20 kilometres between descending and Valley Road, and then the last climb to Pilla for the finish. Ciccone wants more of it.
Oh, yeah, he is a man on a mission, isn't he? Look at the way he's throwing that bike around.
Yeah, he wants to take as much time as possible now on this descent because he knows that he needs a bigger gap at this last climb if he wants to hold on to the win.
We've got a good 15 kilometres now downhill, so...
He tried the same move on stage 9 to Corner alla Scale. That was the second mountaintop finish. Vingegaard was the winner, but to Ciccone's credit, he went on the attack. He tried desperately to survive, and he was caught with maybe 1.5 Ks to go.
Yeah, he's had a few goes, hasn't he?
And he's moved up into 3rd position in the race for the King of the Mountains classification. Just 2 points behind Jardy Vanderlee, but it's still a handsome lead for Jonas Vingegaard. Oh, they're dropping like stones down this descent. Beautiful sweeping corners. This is a quick one.
Yeah, so far it looks pretty good, doesn't it? And even so, that's not so technical just yet. You'd think they'll gain a few more seconds because they're just racing really fast. Visma won't take huge risks. They won't slouch their way down, but they certainly won't take as many risks as the breakaway.
This is Lopez at the rear for Movistar. And in front of him, the 2 riders from Pinarello Q36.5. We spoke about David de la Cruz and his struggles when he's descending. And it's a knowing nod of the head from one of Australia's greatest sprinters, Caleb Ewan.
Yeah, he is struggling on this descent. And you see now that they're all taking as much risk as possible. And they're going all out. 35 Ks to go, 1 climb to go. They're trying to take as much time as possible on this descent because they know the GC favourites won't be taking a whole bunch of risks. You know, they want to stay upright, whereas these guys are going all out for the finish and risking everything.
Yeah, and you got to know where you can make up time. There was a great stage in the Giro d'Italia with Robbie McEwen when he was on his campaign winning stages, and it was in the rain. And they had a finishing circuit, and there was a corner with a few hundred metres to go. His teammate Nick Gates was with him. He said, "Gatesy, I don't need a lead out after the last corner. Just get me into that final corner in first as fast as we can go." McEwen got through the corner after Gates had done the job. Cipollini, Pataki, they all went down.
They all slid off. I remember that one. It was heavy rain. And Robbie, yeah, he was a very good bike handler in his day. One of the best.
All smiles and sunshine at the finish line.
It looks pretty good, doesn't it? I'm happy for everyone, all and sundry, that we've had a good weather day today because it would have been horrible if we'd had some wet roads.
The great Claudio Chiappucci. He's been on this year for the last few years. He's loving the Veterans Tour.
He has, yeah, he has. We see him every year. It's great. out some of the other celebs there. I'm sure there's a few more. Saw Andrea Tuffy yesterday.
That is a cycling postcard perfection.
Yeah, it's this part of Italy. I mean, the finish today, it's bilingual. So they speak French and Italian, and a lot of the area and a lot of the names, in fact, you'd almost say it's more French than Italian, but we are in Italy. But the border's literally just across those mountain peaks that we just saw. So it's got a real mix of, you know, in terms of even the architecture, French, Alpine French, Italian, Alp, and yeah, cuisine and everything to go with it.
So they've done 100 Ks and they've got 33 still to go. The heat will be a factor. A few of the riders from the breakaway yesterday, they said even once they got the 10-minute gap and they'd eased off the pace a little, given how hot it was, it made the whole day really tough. And they pay for that today.
Yeah, totally. I mean, that's, you know, how many bottles are they going through on a day like today, Caleb?
They'll probably be going at least 2 an hour, so maybe 3 an hour. But the problem that they have now is, you know, they're coming out of the winter, so a lot of them haven't really trained in the heat. You know, when you go to the Tour de France, you've already trained in the heat a lot.
You've raced, yeah.
And you've raced in the heat, you've trained in the heat. Whereas the Giro, you still have days where you're racing and it's 0 degrees and raining, and then you'll have a day like this where it's almost 30 degrees. So it's really tough to adjust to all the different conditions.
And that's exactly what we got in the first week.
Yeah.
Didn't we? The cold, wet.
It was one day where
winter.
Ben O'Connor had 3 rain jackets on. Today he'll have sunscreen lotion on.
Yeah, it's madness, isn't it?
All within the same race.
Yeah.
How does the body cope with that?
Well, I think that's why we see a lot of sicknesses in the Giro, because one day it's stinking hot, and the next day it's maybe in the minuses or 0 degrees and raining, so it's freezing cold. So your body doesn't adapt that well to really hot, really cold. Whereas a lot of the races, you know, the Tour de France, it's generally pretty hot the whole time. Maybe when you go into the mountains, you get a little bit cold, but it's not too bad.
Visma, I said they wouldn't tear it up too much, but a couple of their riders on the front, they've opened up a couple of gaps here to Jonas Vingegaard.
Well, they don't need to take any risk because they do have the big prize as their #1 target, the general classification. And they've said that openly. Stage wins are not our priority. Despite that, they've won 2, both the mountaintop finishes with Jonas.
Yeah, and they, you're right, and they can concede 30 seconds on this descent. And that 30 seconds is just enough to take the edge off on the corners for them. But it's hard to do that when especially when you're a teammate and you're doing the job. And, you know, as you pointed out earlier, Carter, they would have discussed in the team meetings, right, you'll take us to here, then you two will take us through this section. So the guys from Visma now, they want to do the best possible job for the team and for Vingegaard. So they're flying down. And there's a look at the speed. It's not quicker speeds they do on descents. So it's not super steep, but it's still quick enough. You wouldn't want to make an error at that speed.
Definitely.
No.
Well, Koen Bouwman still sitting at the back. His 2nd season with the Jacob Allula team. He hasn't had too many results to speak of since he has joined the team, but he is making a good fist of it today. Up until this point, he had spent his entire professional career riding with Visma Lease bike. It was in 2022 where he won the King of the Mountains classification here and 2 stages along the way. First onto the scene at the Criterium of Dauphiné way back in 2017 when he won stage 3 from a small breakaway group that finished 11 seconds clear of the sprinters. It was Arnaud Demar who led the peloton home ahead of Brian Coquard and a guy who's now Koen Bouwman's teammate, Pascal Ackermann. Vlasov at the front. For Red Bull, they must have a question mark over Palazzari, given the illness that they've spoken about within that team. Because we know Palazzari, when he's at his best, he's amongst the very best. Last year he rode 2 Grand Tours and he finished 6th overall in both of them, here at the Giro and the Vuelta. And he won a stage at the Vuelta, big one in the mountains.
Yeah, I mean, they're fortunate that they've got 2 Plan A's, if you like. I won't say Plan A, Plan B, but Jai Hindley is a former winner. He's certainly a Plan A.
They've still got 2 teammates there with them, Ben Zwiehoff, and they've got Giovanni Aliotti out there as well. Plus, they've got Vlasov in the breakaway group. So, as a team, Red Bull, they're in a really strong position. But has Jai Hindley or Giulio Palazzari got the silver bullet?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it is today for both of them. Survive the day, minimise the losses, if any, and then, you know, keep recovering, keep sort of trying to get that body back into good shape. Flat day tomorrow. It's not a day off for them, but a day that they can hide in the peloton.
And with a mountaintop finish like this, Caleb, you could have your whole team there. But if you're going up against either Jonas Vingegaard or Tadej Pogacar and they attack, your team leader's still got to be able to follow them.
Yeah, exactly. And it's almost useless having your team there on the last climb, because unless Vingegaard's going to falter and you have a team to maybe drive it, you know, it doesn't look like it's going to happen. You know, Visma, they're just so well drilled. As you can see now, there's still so many riders still there. 1 climb to go.
Yeah, and Net Company Ineos are about to get another in the main peloton as Jack Haig is putting the brakes away on this descent.
He is, he's doing a good job.
He's a good descender, Jack. Coming from a mountain bike background, he knows how to handle bike.
He sure does. 2:26. It's been very stable now, the gap, for a long time. There's Jack. He's almost closed it in. He's chasing the TV motorbike. Does he stick it up the inside here, Barry Sheen style? Yes, he does.
Yeah, nice work. He'll get on the next corner, I'd say, if not this straight. He'll be in the slipstream now.
Yep, he's on.
Yeah, nice work, Jack.
He's a good addition to the team.
Yeah. Well, he brings a wealth of experience now, doesn't he?
Yeah, you know, he was on Bahrain for the last few years as a leader. That, you know, he was 3rd at the Vuelta. I think they definitely had him as a GC hope, but I've spoken to Jack a little bit about it, and I feel like he didn't really like the pressure so much. So I feel like he's going to be happier in an environment like this where he's a helper. He's such a good rider, so strong, and, you know, I think he can do a great job helping a really good leader.
And he's calm.
Yeah.
26 kilometres to go. They're off the descent. They're into the Valley Road. It is roughly 10 kilometres before the final climb of the day gets started. The big fight for the pink jersey is about to get underway in earnest.
This is my grandmother.
Essie Davis discovers a colourful family history.
What? I literally come from a den of thieves.
Who do you think you are? Tuesday, 7:30 on SBS and on demand.
This work can be too much for people.
This is what we're here for.
I know what we're here for.
The Americans. Stream now on SBS On Demand.
Oh, he's gone down in the box. Big appeal for a penalty. The referee is having none of it.
Yeah, it looks like he wants a Golden Globe and a Golden Boot.
I don't recall seeing theatrics like this before, I must say.
There's more carry-on here than a budget airline.
Anything can happen this World Cup, but you can always rely on the fast and easy Sportsbet app, the easiest way to bet on the Cup.
What are you really gambling with? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.
A sofa in case of guests. Will it match the blinds? Why make a chaotic decision when I can make a calm one? Eva. Good design makes deciding easy.
Do you think we need more space?
Yeah, we could use a bigger home. Could talk to someone.
That?
Someone.
Hi, I'm Kate, your CommBank home lending specialist.
Fast approval, no doubt. With CommBank, you can.
They call this the lucky country.
Red 55.
But there's a funny thing about luck. There's only so much of it to go round.
That's a cow.
See, while you're having a ripper,
Both of them.
someone else is having a shocker.
Spewing.
Yeah, you never know which end of the stick you're gonna get when the lucky country isn't so lucky.
Lucky you're with Amy.
With holiday rentals and hotels, Booking.com has something for everyone.
Seashells! You got anything more boutique?
Oui, right this way.
What about something more family friendly?
Maybe a resort with a water park?
Or somewhere less family friendly?
Yep, one luxury hotel for the bride-to-be.
What if we hate everything?
No worries, we have free cancellation. Find exactly what you're booking for. Booking.com,
Simple lunch. That's a wrap. Coles Simply Soft White Wraps, 8-pack are just $2.
No, internet sí tengo porque mire, inmediatamente me abrió Facebook. Pero no me deja abrir el súper. Mira, venga. Mire, abro súper y abre la página. Y una vez me dice que si me vinculo ahora que no me dan que códigos, que no hay que...
Y la contraseña. Ya le di lo de la... No, no, sí.
Tienen que darle la vincular.
Ay, no. Bueno. Ahí le va a pedir la contraseña, no hay que más. Bueno, listo. Epa, póngale la etapa ahí en su stream. Hágame el favor.
Ya, estoy mirando una cosa. Mire, póngale que...
Córtale el stream.
Espere, se está conectando él, ¿no? Se está conectando.
Conectado.
Ya se conectó.
Tengo sueño.
Es que se dio una casualidad.
Le cerraron el stream por copyright.
No. Lo que pasa es que se dio una casualidad. Conecté el teléfono de mi papá y se me fue el internet completamente al computador. Dejó hasta de transmitir y todo.
Wouldn't it? Papa's Day boxing, right?
It's already live streamed on social media by all the people on the side of the road.
It is. So they're only a few kilometres away now. So this final climb, let's take a closer look at it. 16.5 kilometres, 7.1% average gradient, but the lower slopes are really low, so that doesn't tell the full story. There's plenty of pitches that are up over 8% because even during it, there's a little dip down at 3%, so that skews the average gradient. So it's a tough climb, and it ends up at almost 1,800 metres above sea level. So it's not super high, but it's what they've had leading into it today. And as we said at the start of the stage, over 4,000 metres of climbing in total on such a short stage. This really is a brutal day.
And Mark Donovan is rinsing himself at the front of the breakaway. He was in the break all day yesterday. He finished in 5th position. They averaged 50 k's per hour for the first 2 hours. What a way to bounce back.
And that's great riding by Donovan and De La Cruz. You know, they were off on the descent. Presumably De La Cruz just struggling, as he has done with his descending skills, but they've got back on. They didn't even sit and take a breather. They went straight to the front. They know they've got to maximise their time gained here because all they're going to do is lose time on that final climb.
That castle looks like something out of a movie set. Incredible, isn't it? The seat perched up on that hill and then the major artillery with the freeway in the background.
Oh, Europe do it well. They do it so well, preserving historical artefacts, but at the same time, you know, creating great transport around it.
Bart Lemon still on the front for Visma Lisa Biker. Is that him now dropped to the back? They've got a few that have gone down to the team car. Victor Campenarts has got the duties of getting one last drink for Jonas Vingegaard. 2 riders back there as well for Tudor Pro Cycling, the team of Michael Storer.
Yeah, this is it. Last sort of top-ups. You don't want to carry... Well, you've got to carry enough, don't you, Caleb? 16 kilometres, it's a hot day. One bit on, is it enough? Or you're going to rely from roadside as well?
Well, I don't know what the rule is with the no feeding, how far to go you have to stop feeding.
Yeah, well, I was hoping that, I was curious the same. 10 kilometres? Or
yeah,
maybe
I
less
think it's around 10 kilometres. So you definitely don't want to be underfueled. I'd say they would start the climb with 1.5 bitters.
Yeah, and they're sure to have Soigniers on the climb at the position before they get into that last 10 Ks. These vineyards would have been hard to cultivate a few hundred years ago, Macca.
Yeah, it is. It's postcard perfect, isn't it? They use up every square metre. They don't waste any of the land here. It's all utilised.
Johannes Coulset still out there for Uno X Mobility. Donovan continues at the front. They're inside 3 kilometres before they go through the Red Bull Sprint, and through the Red Bull Sprint and onto the climb.
There's 2 battles here. There's 2 battles. We keep talking about the GC battle, but obviously the stage can still be won, and there's part of me is swaying now to think that the breakaway can still win the day. I feel like there's enough talent in this front group, and I still feel like between Coulset, Muss, there's 1 or 2 others, maybe De La Cruz, they've still got some legs about them here, and certainly still got the motivation.
They've had to work a lot harder, though, than the big favourites back in the peloton.
Yeah, I think Jonas hasn't really touched the pedals yet. So if he's feeling good and he launches, I think he'll close that gap pretty quickly.
He hasn't done a single acceleration. We've seen Ciccone has attacked. There's others out there that have been racing for the King of the Mountains points. They have spent a lot more energy out front.
And he's got Setkus.
Handy.
He's pretty damn handy in his own right.
This is where the race is heading, up to Pilat. It was a stage finish here back in 1992, and somebody that you knew pretty well, Udo Boltz, was the winner. It was a stage of 260 kilometres, 7 hours and 20 minutes of racing.
Well, they loved the long stages back then, didn't they? Yeah, so it sits right in this beautiful part of the Alps, and as I said earlier, this cable car services directly down to Aosta, the start town. So a lot of the team support and officials, etc., journalists, they would have parked there for the day, I'd imagine. They'd be catching the cable car up to the finish.
The finish line in the race doesn't go all the way to the top of the mountain. The finish line for today's stage is just under 1,800 metres above sea level. The mountain itself goes a lot further up. There's Jack Haig. He is working his way to the front once again and delivering water bottles to his teammates. 20 kilometres remaining for the peloton. The breakaway, they're just 600 metres away from the Red Bull Sprint. Small time bonus, small cash prize, but it's the stage that they are prioritising.
Visma still have 5 guys, which is very impressive since they controlled the stage from basically the start.
K0. And that's right, and they're down 1 man and a strong man in Kelderman, as Matty pointed out, crashed out early on.
So they've only used 2 guys basically till this point.
So full credit to Timo Kilic and Tim Rex. They have ridden out of their skins, those 2 guys. How about Wout Poels, the Dutch climber from Univet Rose Rockets? They're about to go through the intermediate sprint for the Red Bull prize. It's Donovan who is still on the front. Donovan setting the tempo for De La Cruz. De La Cruz is the best placed in the general classification from this group, starting the day 16th at 6:43 behind. Jan Hurt wants the 6 seconds. De La Cruz wants the 6 seconds. A little swing from Donovan. De La Cruz gets the 6. Those 6 seconds and that battle, that can be part of the final destination at around about the top 10.
Let's take another look at the replay here. See Jan Hurt. He decides he wants it. Oh, well, it doesn't look as bad there.
He was actually, I don't think he was trying to block out.
No, I don't think he realised, yeah.
I think he was just trying to get out of the way to make sure De La Cruz got the time bonus.
Yeah, he was blocking him.
You reckon?
Yeah, you can see him look.
He had a look.
When his head's down, he can see between his legs. And
I've got a question, Caleb. And again, I'm batting on here. Movistar have got 3. Should one of them be assisting here? Because this is, you know,
yes,
line ball decision, whether or not they're going to stay away for the stage, and 3 Movistar, not all of them been good. Juan Pedro, I think, should have been pulling there with Donovan.
100%. You know, they need as much time as possible at the start of this last climb.
Yeah.
Donovan has now swung off. Job done for the day. De La Cruz takes up the pacemaking. Jan Hurt is in second position, followed then by Juan Pedro Lopez. Next in line from Lido Trek, it is Giulio Ciccone. And then for the Red Bull squad, it is Alexander Vlasov, followed by Enric Mas. And of the riders in this group, Enric Mas has the best CV in the mountains, but we know he's not at his best. He's finished second 3 times at the Volta de España, and he's finished third once. Gun Bauman with a team car coming up alongside him for Jaco Alula.
And that's actually a pretty good sign that you're feeling pretty good. You know, they've kept the tempo up there. Bauman's like, I might just take this opportunity, go back, get a bit on, get a couple, and then get ready for the fight.
Now it's Lopez who does take up the pacemaking.
Yeah, they've got to sacrifice one of them, Movistar. Definitely 3 guys there.
Four Spaniards in this leading group. That is the nation that is the best represented. Now it is Visma Lease a Bike still with Bart Lemon at the front, setting the tempo. 2:24. So the work done by Donovan has given them another few seconds up their sleeve.
Yeah, he totally emptied the tank, didn't he? And yeah, look, it could come down to seconds for the stage win, that is.
And we're starting to see some movement in the race for positions amongst the favourites. Tudor Pro Cycling, they're bringing Michael Storer forward. Congratulations, just married.
Not a bad spot for a wedding reception.
Garofoli at the rear.
Sorry, I thought we were looking at the bunch there. Sorry, I've just pointed out something completely irrelevant.
You were thinking it was Palazzari.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, when your eyes pricked up and I was with you, I was on board, don't worry. Well, yeah, the jersey looked the same.
Well, the current Strava record, the quickest time on this climb, is 48 minutes and 34 seconds. So an average speed of 20.4 kilometres per hour. I'm expecting that to be beaten today.
Yeah, with the way this stage has unfolded, and Visma have still got the numbers, Sepp Kuss, they'll drag Jonas as far up this mountain as they can at a pretty high speed, and these guys will do it fairly quickly as well.
Lopez is fully committed now at the front. He is sacrificing himself for Enric Mas. Donovan got the 6 seconds. De La Cruz with the 4 seconds, followed by Jan Hurt. I think they got that graphic wrong. I think De La Cruz went across the sprint
should have
first.
got it. Yeah, I wonder. Yeah.
We'll put that down as provisional.
Yes.
Garofoli has managed to return to the back of the group. Well, Pauls has been playing a very quiet game at the back. He's passed his best. Father Time is undefeated, but he is still in with a chance.
There's a few of these riders, isn't there, that we've talked about them, but yeah, they haven't done any heroics yet. No big chases, not flying down the descent, and well, Pauls is that rider. He's just sort of done enough today, and he's ensured that he's there.
Here is the big pre-race favourite, Jonas Vingegaard. He's been the favourite since he announced that he would be riding this year's Giro d'Italia. Dripping in sweat, highlighting just how hot it has been today. Di Ganzoli is the man in front of him. Then it is Sepp Kuss. Victor Campenaerts is second at the front of the race, and then it is Bart Lemon. There goes Michael Storer, the pink jersey of Eulalio. In front of him is Ben O'Connor. In front of Ben O'Connor is Jai Hindley. The 3 Western Australians are all bunched together. And this is Bolocki, number 43. Derek G, the Canadian national champion. Chris Harper still in the group. So the 4 Aussies inside the top 10 are in the leading group. Palazzari is starting to struggle. Caruso behind him. Crescioli is about to be dropped.
I was just thinking, until he came in a shot, I thought, is Chris Harper gone? I hadn't spotted him, so that's great news.
So this is the next generation of Italian riders altogether. Number 74, that is Simone Gualdi. He's 21. The guy behind him, Crescioli, is 22, and the guy to his side is also 22. They've grown up together racing. I love that support between the 3 of them.
Yeah, it's brilliant, isn't it? Living the dream at the same time.
They haven't lost much time on the climb so far. Only 20 seconds, 14 Ks to go.
Well, Juan Pedro on his day is a good climber, so he will just about match Visma at the moment. But he's got to sacrifice completely here.
Which he is doing. And it's working well for De La Cruz, who's the rider in second spot. This is a rapid tempo at the bottom of the climb. Where is Enric Mas? He slipped further to the back. So now Ainar Rubio, does he become the hope for Movistar?
Well, one of them had switched out to get a bid on. I'm not sure if that was Mas or...
It is.
Yeah, so that's maybe the reason why he's just gone to the back.
And they've saved the steepest part for almost the top of the climb, 11% near the top.
Yeah, this is where it really hits its straps in earnest now. The climb really consistently up over 7 for the majority.
Incidentally, the Gruppetto, Caleb, they are 12 kilometres behind.
I was actually just wondering I wonder how far they are behind. So
you forgot about that, didn't you?
Yeah, forgot about it.
How quickly they forget.
Yeah.
So do we know how far behind in minutes they are?
No. Work it out based on the average speed. It's going to be around about 20 minutes.
Yeah. So they've got to work pretty hard still with this 16-kilometre climb.
Gianmarco Garofoli is the best placed overall for Soudal Quickstep. They won stage 1 and stage 3. They got the race off to the perfect start with their sprinter, Paul Magnier. They've been close a few times with Jasper Stuyven. Their Italian climber is their man to hunt in the mountains. Ciccone in second spot, checking across the shoulder. Rubio is now the man who has to step up for Movistar. He is behind Ciccone, followed then by Vlasov. And the gap's starting to open up. Koen Bouwman in the purple colours for Jaco Ulula is drifting in the wrong direction.
Yeah, he is, and so too Enric Mas. So he did go back. He swung out to get bottles, but he's trying to accelerate now around his teammate Juan Pedro.
Well, we saw him on one of the previous climbs. When it was not so steep and fast, he struggled. When it was steep and hard, he was fine. Caruso has slipped to the back as well. The teammate of the race leader, Afonso Eulalio. Mark Donovan now caught by the peloton. Victor Campenaerts has taken over. So Bart Lemon is no longer there. It's Victor Campenaerts, Sepp Kuss, Davide Pigenzoli, followed by Jonas Vingegaard. Aliotti, Galazzari and Hindley still in here for Red Bull. Michael Storer, Matisse Rondell, the riders in there for Tudor Pro Cycling. This is with the leaders once again. Stage winner already in the race, Igor Arrieta, dangling at the back. He's been spending energy chasing King of the Mountains points along the way. That comes at a price eventually.
Yeah, it does, especially if you're sprinting for those maximum points. Jan Hurt now, so yeah, if the break is to survive, there's still a handful of guys here. It's a hard one to pick. Ciccone has looked good as the race has gone on. Jan Hurt, he's tried to stay under the radar. De La Cruz leading now. Coulthard, the Norwegian.
And from 11th position overall, the young Spaniard, just 20 years of age, Markel Balocchi, he has cracked. On the radio, there's no teammates left around to support him. He just somehow has to find his own rhythm and go into suffering mode. Oh, Palazzari, Caleb, you were concerned about him earlier, and for good reason. He's dangling at the back.
Yeah, he's looking like he's just hanging on now. It'll just be important for him not to go too far into the red. Just try not to hang on all the way until you completely blow. Just get into a good rhythm and try to limit your losses.
Number 12, Caruso, is about to share that water with the team leader. You could not get a better support rider than Damiano Caruso.
Yeah, he'll inspire Eulalio. And incidentally, I mean, what a ride he's done. Doesn't matter if he gets drops now. Look what's left of this group. He is in a select group of riders here, the young Portuguese star.
And he has had 9 days in the pink jersey. And in the race for the white jersey, His nearest rival, Palazzari, is also at the back of the group. Next nearest is Bolocki. He too is being dropped. This is now Ben Sweehoff. He is out from Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe. Thumbs up, and he's hoping for Jai Hindley. 12.5 kilometres still to climb.
Crisp.
Light.
And refreshed.
Oh! Yeah, can't wait for my surprise. Arms out and close my eyes. So exciting, so refreshing. Brace myself.
What?
Be refreshed. Refreshment activated.
What's your band called, miss?
We're all women of a certain age, so...
The old bags department?
This is our time. We need to grasp it.
Riot Women. Stream now on SBS On Demand.
You never forget a child's first steps. And this is particularly incredible. When just 24 hours before, Aisha wasn't expected to survive because of hunger. On the Save the Children acute malnutrition ward in Kenya, hunger is threatening the lives of young children. Devastating shortage of food for the family. By giving just $3 a week, you can help Save the Children provide life-saving care for children like Aisha.
This packet of food precious and could quickly help save a child's life.
Without your help, children like Aisha may not survive. Please call 1-800-979-568 or visit savethechildren.org.au to give just $3 a week, which could provide life-saving peanut paste to a child. Aisha has recovered and has taken her first steps, but hunger is already threatening to take the life of another child. You can do something to help. Your $3 a week can help us to beat hunger and ensure no child goes hungry. Please call 1-800-979-568 or visit savethechildren.org.au today.
It's not just your hearing. For us, it's your life. At Amplifon, you can access hearing devices at zero cost to you through the Hearing Services program at over 350 clinics. Call 13 My Ears.
Mum and Dad and the twins getting ready for a scary movie. And Dad's not ready at all.
Buckle up, big guy. Does not get better from here.
M&M's. It's more fun together.
Will it be the breakaway, or will it be someone from the peloton with the big favourites for the general classification? Stage 14 is up for grabs. 5 categorised climbs. They're on to the final one. Just 11.5 kilometres to go. Caleb Ewan, Julia Ciccone from Lido Trek. He's been in countless breakaways. He's in with some hope yet again.
Yeah, I'd say he'll be the strongest one out of this group here, and he was looking good. He looked good over the top of the last few climbs as well, going for those KOM points. So we'll see if they can hold on, but you know, the time gap is coming down pretty quickly now.
Lopez from Movistar, he's been caught. When you blow up in a hurry, and the big favourites come back easily. Just saw Hindley going to collect some water.
Yeah, and just his body language, he looks pretty good, looks in control, Jai. So the Aussies are all still here, and that is good signs.
A bit of love from Lopez for Eulalio.
Yeah.
And Lopez is the rider that was in a really similar position to Eulalio a few years ago when he was thrust into the limelight as the race leader for 6 days.
Yeah, well, you can see, and that little grimace, Eulalio. So he's bit by bit, the screws are turning on him, and he's getting closer to his limit here.
And decathlon, they're doing it again, and they're doing it well. This time, it's Callum Scottson. He's sitting one out. He's taking more wind. He's protecting Mühlberger, who is protecting Felix Gall. They are all chips in for Felix Gall, the Austrian.
That is a hard thing to do, and I think as he just swung off, Scottson, I think he might have. The camera shot, we just sort of missed it. It's a hard thing to do, Caleb. Sitting on the outside, I know there's not much of a slipstream when the road goes up, but just psychologically to do that for your teammate.
And one thing he'll be doing is really, well, not right now because he's not next to him anymore, but really annoying Jonas. Sitting next to him there, kind of, you know, getting in his space a little bit, it would just be a frustrating thing to have.
So Koen Bowman, he's been in the breakaway all day for Jaco Olula. We saw him collect 2 water bottles. He's now been dropped, and the water bottle is all about being able to provide service for Ben O'Connor. He might not be here for long, the Dutchman, but he's going to offer what he can to Ben.
Yeah, you could see him just ducking back, the head back. Right, what do you need? Bin, food, gel. I got a selection.
So he's been out in front for 123 kilometres, so as he could give Ben O'Connor 1 water bottle and 1 gel. That is commitment to the team.
But it could make all the difference. You know,
yes.
If Benno needs a gel or something right now, and let's say he didn't have it and he hunger flats, then it's race over for him. So something like that can be so crucial.
Yeah, and it's equivalent to, for this man here, Jai Hindley, Vlasov up the road. Now he's still in the mix for the stage win if they stay away. But if not, and if he gets caught, he'll do exactly the same thing. So there's teams that absolutely would have strategized that with the sort of climbers that they've got.
Still Victor Campenaerts at the front. For Tymon Arensman, he's got the Colombian national champion Egan Bernal for support. That's a handy domestique, a Tour de France winner. Koen Bowman is still there. Koen Bowman looks good working for Ben O'Connor. Victor Campenaerts has pulled the ripcord as he swings out of the way. Eulalio at the back is on his final tether. He's only just managing to hang on there.
Yeah, look, the jersey is giving him some wings, but it's almost time for the Maglia Rosa to let go, as now we see Rubio on the attack here, and Ciccone, he does look the best, doesn't he?
That's Ciccone in second spot. And then it's Alexander Vlasov from Red Bull. So he's not playing the role of Koen Bowman. He's been given the green light to go for the stage victory rather than drop back and support Palizzari and Hindley.
We're happy with that, Caleb, at the moment for Vlasov.
Yeah, but I think they will get caught and then he will play his role as domestic. Yeah, so I think the further up the mountain he can get, the better.
Well, Jan Hurt is fighting his way back to try and join him. So too is Einar Rubio. Enric Mas has looked terrible 3 times, looked composed 4 times. He's come back into contention. Write Enric Mas off at your own risk.
Yeah, I agree. I agree totally. I mean, we know what he's capable of, and he's pretty good. He's just beaten by arguably one of the best riders in the race, of Narvaez, a few days ago. But other than that, Mas is in great shape.
And who just said Victor Campenaerts was done and was swinging off? He swung back on.
Oh, yeah, Victor will do like his teammate Rex. He'll squeeze every little bit out. Eulalio, it's not a bad sign when you can sit up off the bars. I'll say that much. We know he's not sitting there easily, but to be able to do that, he's got a little bit of a breather.
Rubio goes again for Movistar, the team that has been, as a squad, one of the most aggressive in this year's Giro. He's had great success in this race in the past. He was a winner of a significantly reduced stage back in 2023 that was cut short because of snow. It went from 207 kilometres to 74 kilometres. He's also been a top 10 finisher overall, so he's got great pedigree in the high mountains. Victor Campenaerts has just got great pedigree on a bike anywhere, working for someone else.
Well, this is one of these little sort of false flat sections here. Doesn't look like much, but it has just flattened out, and it just sort of does it for about 500 metres according to the profile. So it just gives a little bit of reprieve for the Maglia Rosa. He wants to be hard up on the wheel here though, because this is where the slipstream actually does matter more.
Victor, this time, I promise you, he has swung off.
He's swung off.
That's what still remains. 9 kilometres to go, Caleb.
Yeah, one thing for sure is that everyone in the Visma team is committed to the course today, and I think they want to go for the pink jersey, and I think they want to go for the stage win. They want it all today.
He's won 3 stages, or 2 stages, I should say, already. Jonas Vingegaard, is that a Freudian slip? Have we got the 3rd one on the brink today? Well, Pulse, the old dog, has got old tricks, and they're hard to answer to. He's going on the attack.
Well, they have to. They've got to go for it here. And whatever way they do it, they've got to effectively go up this mountain, this last just shy of 9 kilometres, as quickly as possible, because that margin, 1 minute 03, is bit by bit getting eaten into, so they cannot afford the cat and mouse.
And this is experience, Caleb. It's the first time he's attacked. The other two behind him, they've done 3 or 4.
Yeah, I thought I saw him getting dropped before, so
yeah.
He's ridden a really smart race and obviously a whole bunch of experience, especially in a situation like this.
His experience in his last season, Caruso, a former podium finisher, he's trying to work to support the pink jersey. He won't surrender, Macca. He will keep on fighting. Bad news, though, at the back for Jaco Ulula in the WA Cup. It's Ben O'Connor, who is the first to succumb to the tempo being set by Visma Lease bike.
Yeah, and there's a few more. So the screws have just been turned a little bit more. Eulalio, he's lost contact as well with 3 other riders. So the Magliarozza, for the first time today, for the first time since he took the lead, he is now off the back.
Chris Harper is at the back. Then it is the pink jersey. In front of him is Matisse Rondell. In front of Rondell is the Canadian champion, Derek G. Derek G, he came here with ambitions for the podium. He was 4th overall last year. And in the race for the white jersey for best young rider, it's just in front, but that's on loan because the gap for Eulalio in the race for white is 3 minutes and 42 seconds.
Well, Palizzati, he's been on the back all day. Each time the group diminishes, he just moves up. It's a little bit Simon Yates-esque, isn't it? He was a master of sitting on the back and he'd be like, what's he doing? There'd be 50 riders left, he'd still be on the back. There'd be 20 left, he'd be on the back. 10 left, and then next minute he'd be off the front attacking.
And it's now Enric Mas who is attacking at the front. This is another rider who has been dropped a couple of times from this group, but as soon as it gets steep, he comes to the fore. Well, Pauls is not done with yet. Burying the head to try and get back in contact. Ciccone, again, he has been the most combative from this leading group.
Yeah, he has. He has. When through the valleys, a bit of a shake of the head. Well, no point shaking the head, Julio. You just got to get on with the job. They're not there to be your friends. They're there to beat you today.
There's the pink jersey, Caleb. He's 14 seconds behind the leaders. He has a 33-second advantage at the start of the day ahead of Jonas Vingegaard.
Yeah, unfortunately for him today, he will lose the jersey, but it's been a great run for him.
Can he stay in the white jersey? That's the next challenge for him. He's got Chris Harper behind him. Chris Harper's fighting for his spot inside the top 10.
He's just got to ride to a rhythm now. He's got to ride to a rhythm that he can maintain for the next 8 kilometres. So it's a long way to go for Eulalio, but not all is lost.
Cool set from Uno X Mobility. He was in the original break of 25. Michael Storer and Jai Hindley together again. They've been racing against each other since they were 15. Jai Hindley's dad used to take them both out motor pacing together. They've grown up in the sport. They've been going shoulder to shoulder, toe to toe with each other, and they both have an enormous amount of respect. Palizzati is still there, Caleb, somehow.
He's bluffed us all.
Yeah, maybe he was telling us something with that thumbs up.
Yeah.
Real.
But he actually was feeling good.
Yeah.
And we're like, no, you're not. No, you're not. It's a bluff. He's well and truly recovered.
Still Sepp Kuss at the front, followed by Davide Piganzoli. 10 in the group. Egan Bernal, this is the best he's climbed for a while.
I was just about to say, isn't it good to see the Colombian in this select group and looking pretty good too.
Felix Gall, he is there. He's got one teammate still with him. Michael Storer is in second last position. The leaders, they're now only 44 seconds ahead of the Vingegaard group.
Jonas was just sitting there, mouth closed, breathing through his nose. Unbelievable.
He's looking pretty good, isn't he?
As we heard before the start of the stage from Eulalio, he simply said that Jonas is Jonas. And the only guy who can beat him is Tadej Pogačar, and Tadej Pogačar is not here. I'll just keep fighting and fighting.
Well, he's up for the battle, Eulalio. He knows, probably he'll lose the jersey today. He was probably knowing that at the start of the stage, but he knows that he's still got lots to fight for. There's a podium up for grabs. There's a white jersey up for grabs.
Wahlberger doing the job yet again for Felix Gall, the two Austrians on the French decathlon team. And he's given him a great sit, Caleb. He's out taking more wind than any other rider in that group, apart from Sepp Kuss at the front.
Yeah, he's doing a great job protecting his lead now.
Egan Bernal's got the twist as well. Sepp Kuss onto the radio. This might be his last few pedal strokes. Piganzoli will be the next to go. Piganzoli was brilliant, particularly on stage 2. Eulalio, where does he land in the general classification at the end of the day? Here comes help, here comes Caruso, here comes class. 7 kilometres to go. Enric Mas leads the breakaway. It's down to just 40 seconds.
Yeah, they've got to push on. They've got to push on because when Vingegaard jumps, he'll come at a rate of knots.
And Vlasov has been dropped from this group, the rider from Red Bull, Bora Hansgrohe.
It's a tough climb. There's no super steep pinches, but it's just really consistent, isn't it, around that 8% mark.
Unrelenting. There's only been one moment of respite where they get a bit of momentum and some recovery, but as you said, Macca, it is consistently at the 8% mark. Sepp Kuss is gone. There he is out in the distance. It's now up to the young Italian, Davide Piganzoli, the new recruit to the team.
Well, this tells me that Vingegaard's going to have to go long. And when I say long, I think maybe 4 kilometres out. I wonder, or is Piganzoli going to, has he got plenty in reserve? We'll see.
Has been fantastic so far in the race, Piganzoli. He's in 13th position overall whilst working for Jonas Vingegaard. Oh, the dream of the stage victory in the Giro for today at least is over for Wout Poels. But he will hit the reset button and he'll look for another opportunity in the final week.
Well, there they are. You can see them, the camera shot just picking up the Jonas Vingegaard group.
This is Rubio at the back. Piganzoli leading the chase from behind. Tijmen Arensman, how good can he be today? The big Dutchman in the grey colours. He was outstanding in the mountains last year at the Tour de France. He won a stage in the Alps and a stage in the Pyrenees.
He's really hitting his straps, isn't he? Arensman and the team in doing so, putting more faith in him as well, giving him that leadership role.
The rider at the back of the group from Penarello, that is David de la Cruz. This is the job now being done by Vlasov. He's offered ice to Jai Hindley, and Jai says, yeah, I'll have some of that. They're starting to look at each other now. It's the intimidation of the group that is closing from behind.
Yeah, it's almost desperation, isn't it? You just got to go for it.
They're clearing the cars out from behind them. It's a Shimano neutral service on the motorbike now for the breakaway group. Wout Poels has now been caught by Davide Piganzoli. Piganzoli's career is just getting started. Wout Poels, he's had a stellar career. Stage wins at the Vuelta and at the Tour de France, Pas-Liège, Bastogne-Liège. He's here to pick up one at the Giro. It won't be stage 14. The attack again at the front. Ciccone, followed by Rubio. The diesel engine of Enric Mas can't respond to these moves.
Yeah, he's struggling to respond to the moves, but if you told me that he was going to be one of the last men standing in the breakaway, I wouldn't have believed you, halfway through the stage. So he's done an incredible job to be there, and, he's actually done a great ride today.
I feel like Ciccone and Rubio, they're marking each other, but you got the chase group of Vingegaard coming. They should have been riding harder, like for the last 2 kilometres to this point, and they might have held a 30-second advantage at least.
Their only chance to survive was to work together.
Yeah.
Oh, Piganzoli, Macca, he is upping the tempo. Jonas Vingegaard is not far away from unleashing.
Yeah, you get that impression, don't you, that he's going to go to a crescendo, Piganzoli that is. He's maintaining it as well at the same time. Jonas is on the radio here. That's good, keep it up. Well, they're going to pick him up very quickly.
with 5 kilometres to go. What was once a breakaway group of 25 is no more. The last two to be caught, Einar Rubio from Movistar and Giulio Ciccone from Lidl Trek.
Pelizzari getting dropped there now as well.
The gap has finally opened up for the white jersey, Giulio Pelizzari, but he's still got a lot to fight for. And now Felix Gall, without his teammate with him, he's fighting to try and get into the slipstream of Jonas Vingegaard. Egan Bernal wouldn't let him in, but Felix doesn't want to get too far back. He knows he cannot afford to close a gap on Jonas.
Yeah, I love it. He's really up for the fight, isn't he? And he wants to try and follow Jonas when he jumps.
Pelizzari. He's still very young, but he's already got lots of experience, and this is another learning one for him. Another punch out of the corner here from Davide Piganzoli. Felix Gall has got the position he wants. So far on the two mountaintop finishes, he's been the closest to Jonas. We've had a fall amongst the spectators. Oh, Michael Storer now in the black colours of Tudor Pro Cycling. A small gap is opening up. Jai Hindley is still with the favourites. Aronsman now is beginning to suffer. Egan Bernal is waiting for him. It's time to go for Jonas. Piganzoli takes a look across the shoulder. Has he got the legs to go with him? He needs to swing out and create the gap and slip in behind Felix Gall.
Yeah, I think he'll be able to. He does just that, so... Jonas jumps. It was that surge out of that right-hand hairpin bend that really hurt everyone, wasn't it, from Piganzoli?
We apologise for the picture breakup. These are the same images that are going all the way around the globe. At the moment where it is Jonas Vingegaard who goes on the attack, the cameras are going down in Italy. These are images that we have no control over. It is the world feed that is coming out of the Italian broadcasters. This is the same issue right across the world. Macca at that key moment when Jonas is going.
It is the key moment, and we will try and get back very quickly. I'm sure that's what they're trying to do on the ground over there. So we are high in the mountains. Sometimes it does happen. Normally when the weather's really bad, that's when we have the pitcher issues and pitcher breakups. So this is a little bit surprising.
And Caleb, obviously, we're watching very closely for the Western Australian Cup. Jai Hindley looks to be the best so far. Michael Storer just getting slightly dangled.
Yeah, you could see him just losing contact there, but Jai looks really good. And, you know, he's obviously done this before. He's won the pink jersey before. He knows what it's like to race in the last week of a Grand Tour, and he looks like he's in really good form.
He's right in the hunt for a spot on the podium. I don't believe at this point he can challenge Jonas Vingegaard based on what we've seen so far today. But Tymon Aronsman, he's alongside him. Felix Gall is just a little bit further ahead.
Yeah, that's just it. And as you pointed out, he's won this race. He's been there. He's been on the top step. So he's a pretty cool, calm guy at the best and worst of times, Jai Hindley. So that is going to be really important right now and moving forward.
The experience goes a long way.
Yeah, for sure. And we did see Tymon Aronsman starting to drop then as well. The pictures really broke up at the worst possible time, so I'll be curious to see what's happening when they come back to us.
Yeah, here we go. We are just about back with images. Michael Storer as well. He was distanced as the pitches broke up 4 kilometres to go. Storer has now been passed by Giulio Pelizzari. Vingegaard is out in front to the tune of 15 seconds.
And I think Jai Hindley, I'll wait for confirmation, he might have been just ahead of Pelizzari. So this group now is just shattered into pieces. And look at that, the gap, there's daylight that's opened up.
Well, the last time he did this, he got out to 25 seconds. Then Felix Gall clawed it back to 13 seconds. There's Felix Gall, but he has an emotional anchor with Davide Piganzoli sitting behind him. That is going to make him second-guess himself.
Yeah, and chasing is Jai Hindley. So Hindley is next on the road. And then I'm pretty sure it's Michael Storer, Pelizzari. So that sort of little group there.
Well, there is Hindley. Yeah. He has ridden away from Tymon Aronsman. And Aronsman started the stage ahead of Jai Hindley in the general classification. Jai, in the overall standings, coming into the stage today, he was 6th at 3:12 behind. He's 1 minute and 9 seconds behind Tymon Aronsman in the race for a spot in top 3.
Yeah, this is good. 3.2 kilometres to go. This is now just go to the red zone and hold it for as long as possible. You've just got to go as deep as you can here because he could make some really good gains.
And this is where the experience does come to the fore for Jai Hindley.
Yeah.
The first mountaintop finish, his teammates, Palazzari, he went too deep too soon. And he paid a price. Hindley ended up finishing in front of him. He knows how to measure his effort. Caleb, how impressed are you with 177? Davide Pigenzoli after doing the job for Jonas.
Yeah, what a ride. It looked like he hadn't really finished his turn yet before Jonas went, so maybe he's got a little bit left to spare.
He's given it all he's got to try and stick with Felix Gall. He's at 26 seconds now behind Jonas Vingegaard with 3 kilometres still to climb. He's looking better than on the previous 2 mountain stages.
Yeah.
And those 2 mountain stages,
yes.
He won.
Yeah, that's right. More in control, isn't he? Pigenzoli now losing the wheel to Felix Gall, but that doesn't matter. That's irrelevant. He's done a brilliant job, as much as his teammates as well have set it up nicely.
And now Hindley and Palazzari are back together again. Palazzari has risen from the ashes today. He looked terrible early.
Yeah. There's been a few stories like that, hasn't there? Where guys looking terrible and then coming back and then looking like they're fading again and then coming back again. So, you know, it's just such a tough stage that you go through parts where you're feeling good and then parts where you're not feeling great.
The heat with the sweat, they look like drowned rats. Palazzari, what courage. Tymon Arensman fighting for his survival as well.
Yeah, he's got them in his sights, so in his mind, that's his goal. He just wants to keep Hindley and co in his sights, and he'll try and surge up to them at the end.
As for the pink jersey, Eulalio, the last update has him at 2 minutes and 3 seconds behind. So he's well and truly out of the pink jersey, but he is still in the white jersey as the best young rider. He has spoken about riding with respect and honour in any leader's jersey at the Giro d'Italia, referring to the blue for the King of the Mountains. But he has made it pretty clear he's come here for one jersey only, and that is the pink one. A really high cadence with Felix Gall.
Yeah, he looks good. He's riding well. You know, he's the second best on the road, and that's pretty much what he's been on these big climbs. I mean, this is career best form for Felix Gall.
And number 125, Palazzari. This is all courage from Palazzari. And I love the way he and Hindley are able to work together. They're so evenly matched. There could be a battle between big egos, but neither of them have got that.
No, it's great. No, they've just got to fight on. Limit the losses today. Live to fight another day.
2Ks to go now for Jonas Vingegaard. Starting the day 1 minute and 30 seconds ahead of Tymon Arensman. A 1:57 ahead of Felix Gall. Now Pigenzoli, he's paying the price for his big effort. These two know each other really well. They've come up through the junior ranks together at the Tour Avenir when it was Isaac Del Toro who won. The man in white, Palazzari, was second, and in yellow, Pigenzoli was third. Now we're together on the national team. Arensman is limiting his loss as well. He was the best time trialist amongst the general classification riders, and this is a steady gradient, and that ability is now coming to good use.
Yeah, he knows how to get himself into a really good rhythm, and you know, he would have felt himself suffering and going maybe a bit too far into the deep, and he would have just settled down into a rhythm that he knows he can hold, and now he's going to try to claw them back.
Sun's out, spectators are out, and it's a Dane who is on the charge, targeting yet another stage victory.
Yeah, and he's just squeezing a few more seconds out of Gall here. He just looked like he was starting to hold Jonas at 35, but just the last sort of 400 or 500 metres, he's just ripped a few more seconds.
And Hindley can see him, and he's now no longer looking up the road to Vingegaard, he's looking back down the road to Hindley and Palazzari.
Yeah, they'll be buoyed by that. If they can just get a little bit closer to Felix, it'll give them some morale.
or it's a challenge to concentrate going through the spectators that are trying to run alongside you and screaming in your face.
They've all no doubt been up here for hours, waiting patiently, enjoying the sunshine.
He's on target for his best ever result in the Grand Tour here, Felix Gall. He really struggled in the individual time trial. He said he was happy with the result, but it has been his Achilles heel. But he's got himself in with a chance today to be in second place overall, maybe. And it's a big maybe, because the pink jersey could still be doing enough to stay in second, given his time gaps on Felix Gall and Tymon Arensman and Jai Hindley.
He's put up a great ride, hasn't he, Eulalio? And he got dropped pretty early on. But I thought he did well even to last to the, you know, well past the base of the climb. He really fought all day, and this will be a great learning experience for him.
Well, his great rival, Jonas Vingegaard, is Tadej Pogacar. When Pogacar won this race in 2024, he destroyed the general classification and he won 6 stages. Jonas Vingegaard, a little over halfway through the race, is on target to be halfway there with Tadej to take the victory and a 3rd stage victory with more mountain stages to come.
Yeah, he's making a statement here today. He's already made a couple of statements, as you said, Matt, and this one is a big one now. He'll take the Maglia Rosa commanding lead, and he'll look for more.
Well, this is a battle of wills, Caleb Ewan. Tymon Arensman is fighting desperately.
Yeah, they're all within 10 seconds of each other now, so yeah, it's going to be a close one to see if they get there in the end.
Last 500 metres for Jonas Vingegaard. There'll be no premature celebration. He is still out to maximise the time gains.
He is. You can just see, look at that, just the face of focus there. He will stay sort of stealth mode all the way towards the finish. He knows what awaits. It's a stage win. It's the Maglia Rosa. But it's been a perfect job by his Visma teammates today. They really did set him up for this.
Historically, the lucky number in cycling has been number 51. For Jonas Vingegaard, this will be victory number 51. He's 3rd at this year's Giro d'Italia. All 3 of them mountaintop finishes. It's a big statement by the Great Dane. And he still looks so composed. The time trial wasn't the perfect day for him. He's got that behind him, and he is back in charge. He is in command. 3 mountaintop finishes, 3 stage victories for Jonas Vingegaard, and this prize will bring with it the most coveted jersey. As he makes his way to the finish in Pillar, it is pink for Jonas Vingegaard. He goes to the top of the general classification. Another statement performance by Jonas. And now the clock starts, Macca, to see how big the damage is.
Well, he's got his team there immediately, just protecting him, giving him some space to breathe. Felix Gall, Jai Hindley now surging to the finish here, just trying to close that gap up to Felix Gall. He's going to empty the tank. He knows he needs to. He wants to keep in touch. So too Felix Gall. They're all just sprinting for that line, aren't they?
And every second counts in the spots inside the top 5 in the general classification and the all-important spot on the podium. Felix Gall started the day in 4th overall. This will be enough to move him up to 3rd. It might move him up to 2nd. He stops the clock at 48 seconds. And he gets a 6-second time bonus. Here comes Jai Hindley in for 3rd. 57 seconds for Hindley. Piganzoli is the next one in. 1:02 then for Palazzari. And now Arensman. He was at 2 minutes and 3 seconds behind at the start of the day. He was 1 minute and 30 seconds behind Jonas Vingegaard. He was 1 minute and 9 seconds ahead of Jai Hindley. He has conceded 26 seconds or so to Hindley. He goes across the line at 1:23. Here comes Michael Storer. He's the next one in. 1:34 for Storer.
That's a solid day for Michael Storer. Loses a bit of time, but holds a good position.
And Egan Bernal might be doing enough here to get himself back into the top 10 in the overall standings. He was 7th overall last year. Now the pink jersey. He won't be in pink anymore, but he might be doing enough to stay in 2nd place in the overall standings. Jan Hurt and Einar Rubio, along with Wout Poels from the breakaway, they come in for a top 10 finish on the stage. Wout Poels gets there just. Here comes Einar Rubio.
And Ben O'Connor just behind him.
And Sepp Kuss just in front of him. So he loses the pink jersey, but he is going to stay inside the top 3 overall. Will it be enough to still be in 2nd place? Oh, it's going to be desperately close. I think this is going to be enough for 2nd in the general classification for Afonso Eulalio. Importantly, he stays in the white jersey as the leader of the best young rider classification. His journey at the Giro is not over yet. Sepp Kuss is in. Eulalio crosses the line. What a ride. What a defence. What a 9 days it's been. Ben O'Connor, the next one through.
Yeah, so O'Connor loses, well, more time than he would have liked. He suffered a bit, didn't he? Just in that last third, as soon as Vingegaard attacked. Eulalio, brilliant defence for him.
And for the first time, Macca, he's doing the warm-down protocol on his road bike, not his time trial bike.
Yeah, that is interesting, isn't it? The last few days, Caleb, Jonas has been on the TT bike. There's no more TTs in this year's race, so all we can presume is it's all in preparation for the Tour.
Yeah, a lot of the guys that go for the TTs are generally jumping on their TT bikes every day after the stage just to, you know, keep that position.
Yeah.
If you get so used to the road bike position and then all of a sudden you jump on the TT bike and you're expected to do a full gas effort, it's really hard to adjust. So a lot of the TT guys, I saw it with Victor when he was in the team with me as well, always on the TT bike after the stage just to, you know, stay feeling good in that position.
Yeah.
And from the original breakaway, the first across the line from that group of 25.
Wout Poels, was it? Yeah. Not bad. Not bad.
Impressive.
Yeah, he boxes on.
He's the oldest rider in the race.
The old dog, yeah.
It's still an old trick, but it's a good one. It's 8th on the stage today for Wout Poels. Here's the stage result. Vingegaard gets the win ahead of Felix Gall, followed then by Jai Hindley. Big Anzoli, impressive in 4th. Next best was Palazzari. He fought back. Aronsman, Storer, Wout Poels, Jan Hurt, Egan Bernal. Will he be happy with that?
Yeah, I think so. He should be. At the start of the race, he wouldn't have been happy, but I think considering how things have gone, he'd be happy. He'd feel like he's bounced back somewhat.
8 minutes faster than the previous record on the climb.
I was going to say, we're quickest time.
There's going to be
they flew
30 riders quicker than the previous record.
Yeah, well, it was set up nicely, wasn't it? There's a number of factors. One, it was a perfect day. There wasn't a lot of wind. The way Visma launched at the bottom. So the way the race went.
And it was 133 kilometres to stage as opposed to 260.
Yeah.
It was 3 and a bit hours of racing instead of 7 hours and 20, and the bike's about 2 kilos lighter.
Yeah, that's right. Skin suits, aerodynamic, even up a climb, it matters, and at the speeds they're going. So, yeah, you put all of those elements into account, and it's really not surprising, is it?
And 2nd place in the general classification, Afonso Eulalio.
Wow.
He's managed to hold on. He's now 2nd. He's 2 minutes and 20 seconds behind Jonas Vingegaard. He is 24 seconds ahead of Felix Gall.
Great riding. Great riding.
Aronsman is now in 4th position. Jai Hindley has moved 1 spot forward into 5th. Palazzari is 6th. Michael Storer is 7th. Ben O'Connor is 8th. Derek G is 9th. David Big Anzoli is 10th. Enric Mas coming across the finish line with Giulio Ciccone. And once they knew they couldn't win the stage, they stopped.
Yeah, dropped the clutch in.
Recovery mode.
Yeah.
Well, he's backstage again because he has to collect the white jersey now as the leader of the best young rider classification.
Yeah, he doesn't get to go to the bus and have a day off, Eulalio. from protocol. But that's good. That's a good thing.
Here's the general classification. Vingegaard is now on top. Eulalio is still in second at 2:26. Felix Gall is the next best, followed by Aronsman. Hindley's moved up 1 spot to 5th. His teammate Palazzari up 3 spots to 6th. Storer stays even at